everyone, and welcome back to the Lexis Star Show. I'm really excited about today's episode. I've got my friend and returning guest, Mr. Teddy Tarantino, on the mic with me today. He's not just joining me, he's going to be co-hosting. And today we are going to be talking about a topic that lots of people are curious about, and that is how to get started in the adult industry. Whether you're just thinking about it, or you plan on doing a full-time career with this, or just curious about the steps that you got to take to continue with this, we're going to give you the real deal. We're going to, no gatekeeping. We're going to give you guys the ins and outs. So from boundaries, branding, booking, burnout, this is the honest truth. And we're going to see if you have what it takes to join the adult world. Let's get into it. Okay,
wow.
So that's the intro. Okay. Is that okay?
Let's do it one more time.
Real voices, bold stories. This is the Lexis Star Show.
This show is presented by King Rilla. Hey, Teddy, thank you for being here today.
I'm sorry for doing it so early.
That's okay.
I thought you were like an early bird.
I am an early bird, but it depends. It depends. Now that I have like little people, it's a different situation. Yeah. I like to be an early bird and do my own things, not have to take care of other people. But we're all good. We'll do our stuff today, and then we'll have the rest of the day to do other things. So let's get right into it. Why get into adult content?
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. It's bad for the world. It's toxic, and it's just a demonic thing.
You think?
No.
Okay, because I'm like, whoa, this is not what I was expecting.
Honestly, it's not for everybody, and it's more not for people than it is for people. And I don't know. I kind of feel like if you are drawn to doing adult work, like it'll kind of happen naturally. But I feel like there's a lot of people that get into it with like the wrong intentions, and they're not like mentally well.
Mm-hmm.
Doing any type of entertainment is always going to be a struggle because there's so much ego involved. There's so much spotlight. There's so much criticism. Mm-hmm. So like if your self-esteem isn't in order, if your spiritual life isn't in order, if you have conflicting shame, there's a lot of shame that goes on with it. Families, opinions, there's a lot of different things that if those things aren't in order, there's going to be a lot of struggle. If you're not, clear on like what type of substances you use, if you drink a little too much, doing adult entertainment, you might drink a little more to relax or something like that. Now that's going to create this whole negative, thing.
But I feel like when people think about going into this type of career, like their motivations are mostly, freedom, money. And then there's a lot of people that say it's to like express themselves. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I literally did it for the money. Like I'm not gonna.
What?
Yeah, I'm
for
not.
For the money?
Yeah.
Although was not the art.
It wasn't the art. And I feel like when people say that they do it for the art,
you think it's a cop-out?
I think it's just like, I don't know, but I don't think it's real, because you can express yourself sexually without posting it on the internet, right? You could just do it at home.
Yeah, but you can make money without posting it on the internet.
Exactly. So everybody does it for the money, right?
No, because you could make money without doing OnlyFans or whatever.
No, but if they're going into it, their reasoning for it, in my opinion, is to make money. Why did you start?
So I think a male getting into the industry is very different than a female getting into the industry.
1000% I agree on that.
So I think that most men who get into the industry, I was talking about my friend about this the other day with someone. So one, if you're a male and you're getting into the industry, most men, their motive is to sleep with this many girls.
I agree.
Sleep with this high caliber of women. That is their motive. I see that as getting into Muay Thai and kickboxing to hurt people. You're not trying to learn. You just, and like that happens at gyms all the time. Someone comes into a jiu-jitsu gym or a boxing gym and they're just trying to hurt people. They're not really trying to become part of the culture. They're just there and they like have anger issues or something like that. So there are men that get in the industry and their motive is to sleep with these women. And on-camera stuff is very different than off-camera stuff. There's a lot of compliance there's a lot of technique and form, and there's a lot of cultural ethics in the adult industry that if you're not trying to learn those things, you're going to get canceled. You're going to push someone's boundary. Like some men get off on pushing people's boundaries, which is fine in your personal life if you and your partner are discussing things like that, even pushing each other's boundaries. But when you're doing this with random strangers that are like your coworkers, that's where it gets toxic and
that's
unhealthy.
Another subject we'll talk about is boundaries.
Okay. And then a lot of women, their sole focus is to make money. Now, I could also say, well, you could make a lot of money doing a lot of other things. You could be a bottle girl. You could do other things that don't necessarily have you being naked. Some girls do OnlyFans and don't do any type of nudity. So we know you could make a lot more money if you did other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But
so you draw the line here and someone else draws the line here and someone else draws the line here. But, doing any type of work that is considered modeling to me is that we swim in the same water. So if you're getting hired to go do a car show and look pretty, you're doing, entertainment that is based on your looks.
Yes.
It's just not, people aren't buying it, And then if you're doing topless stuff and then, it keeps going. So, there are things that you could make more money doing, but you're not comfortable with doing it. And some women, for all the money in the world, still wouldn't do it.
I was one of those women before, but then I don't know. I guess I was just like, not about expressing myself, but really to me from the get-go, it was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make money. It's going to be easy money. But that's the thing. It's not easy, right? You think it's easy, but then it's a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment. It's posting, it's filming, it's this and that. But then once because I didn't make money for 2-3 years, I didn't even know how it worked. I didn't even know like how OnlyFans was working. So it was for the money. And then I was about to give up because I was like, okay, well, it's been 2 years that I'm doing this and I'm not making any money. And then once I spoke to other people, once I got more insights, I was like, okay, now I can start. And whichever reason people are going into this, it doesn't matter. I think as long as you're true to yourself and you have the right intentions, it's just be, what's the word I'm looking for? Intentful? What's
authentic?
Authentic. So be authentic and be true to yourself and say, you know what? If I'm doing this for the money, then this is what I'm doing it for. Just like, no BS, right?
So the problem with that is that when you're doing something that you're not comfortable with in exchange for making the money, what happens when you're doing things that you're not comfortable with and you're not making the money?
Very true.
So that's why when a girl goes into the industry for the money, when the money doesn't come and now you've done all these things that you're shameful about, what do you do with that? And there are a lot of girls out there who have done that. There's a lot of girls who said, oh, I'm going to go and do adult content and do, whatever. And they weren't really okay with it. And the money didn't come. And now they're trying to backtrack and have a normal life. And they're very shameful about this. And that's why like the money is cool, but you got to understand that if the money doesn't come, you have to be okay with the decisions you made.
1000%. I think for myself, like when I started and I wasn't seeing any money, I did have that thought. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not making any money and I'm literally putting myself out there for everybody to see. But then the money did come. And then I was like, okay, now I feel a bit better doing it. Now it's like my full-time job. So I'm okay with it. But I feel like no matter what anybody says, at the end of the day, you're going to have a little flame inside telling you that like, okay, everyone can see everything. And there's days where you're okay with it. And then there's days where you aren't. for myself. But like now I feel like I've just passed that. Like I'm just like, okay, this is what I do.
Yeah, so
Take it or leave it.
I've never had that.
You've never, but you're a guy.
I'm a guy. Okay. Okay, so it's like, yeah, I'm a guy, so it's like whatever. A lot of guys don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I have so many guy friends who are perverts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why don't you do OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Like, hell no. I have guys who, these people are insanely obsessed with sex.
Okay.
And they will never post a video of them naked.
Okay, because they don't want to post themselves.
Well, they don't. To most people, that is not.
Yeah.
Even for all the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are just people that's not something that they will ever be comfortable with.
So
I've never had that. Like I've always been. I don't know. I feel like I've been humiliated so much in like my past life that to me, I'm like, oh,
whatever.
I mean,
it is what it is.
And I've always been like. And I've never been someone who's like overly like if I meet a stranger, what I do for work is the last thing I'm talking about.
1000%. And that's
I've always been like that, you know.
When people like you meet somebody and they're like, so what do you do? And it's like, how are you? I'm good. You know, anything else you want to know about me? But I hate when people, even when I wasn't doing this, it's like people judge you right away. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Okay, what do you do for work? And right there, they're already judging you. Like, oh, you're a doctor? Oh, wow. Okay, so you make money. You're smart. You're this. Oh, you do this? Oh, well, okay. You know, you're not up to my standards or whatever. But at the end of the day, whoever decides to do this needs to be, like you said, authentic to themselves. If they don't feel like doing it, if they have doubts, then they probably shouldn't start. Right? Yeah.
So for me, like it's very different for women and it's different for men, and they have to both come to some type of level of acceptance of what could happen. So you have to be okay with worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you do a whole bunch of videos and you don't make any money and you want to leave. And people get in the industry all the time. No, this is what you know how many girls I've done interviews with and talked to, and they've been like, yeah, this is going to be my whole career. I'm going to be committed. And then 3 months later, they're like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you don't know if this is for you until you get into it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then a lot of girls, when they don't see the money within the first 6 months, they're like, this is pointless, you know?
But it takes time. It takes time to make money. Just like anything, you can't just start a business and overnight you're going to make sales and you're going to make money. Or
well, some girls strike gold on the first hit.
Didn't you post Lil Tay?
Yeah.
What the fuck? The girl just turned 18.
Yeah, but she's built a following
but that's
for
the thing.
So long.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, if the Olsen twins came out with OnlyFans, you know, the day they turned 18, they would also blow up. So if you had a huge following before and you come out and you do this, that's fine. And that's like a whole nother thing that I think is so toxic, because it's like you have like this grooming going on where you have people who have watched you, who have been having those thoughts when you were underage.
Yeah.
And those are probably the people that are buying your content now. So there's definitely something
messed up about
that.
Yeah,
you know
I totally
what I mean?
agree.
So I saw something the other day that I posted, the trend where girls are putting a Down syndrome filter on them is so insane.
Is that a filter? Was that a filter what you posted?
That's not real? They don't have Down syndrome?
I don't know, because there is this one girl who does have Down syndrome and she's like thick.
No, most of those girls are doing a filter that makes them look like they have Down syndrome.
No
which
way.
Which is insane, because
That's
it's
crazy.
like you're sexualizing like a disability. And it's like, I'm all for like crazy and like
but
fun
that's like
or whatever.
a bit...
To me, and what I don't get is that you're already so popular. Like these girls already had 500,000 followers, 1 million followers. So you don't have to stoop down to that level. And then even if you're new, I wouldn't stoop down to that level. But the fact that you were doing that and you're already so... And to me, it's just like, there are so many other things that you can do other than a fake down. Like to me, it's just
But who would create that freaking filter anyways? Like... It doesn't make sense either, right?
I mean, people are gonna create nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So another topic that's really important is setting boundaries early on, and this I think is setting boundaries with yourself, right? Men, I know you guys have less boundaries to set.
That's
like
not
if you're
true.
No? Okay.
So many guys have boundaries.
Really? Well, okay.
Yeah.
If you're a straight man, you probably don't want to do gay shit. Right? So that's a boundary. What other boundaries do you have as a man in the industry?
I would say that I'm very comfortable with doing like a lot of things, but I don't like doing anything like submissive.
Okay. Like you being submissive or the girl being submissive?
I don't like to be submissive.
Okay.
I have to be like maybe like super comfortable for me to be like a whatever.
Hey, it's Lexis Star. If you've made it this far, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for sticking around. If you are enjoying the show, I would love if you could subscribe. Now, why would I ask you this? The more subscribers we have, the easier it is for me to bring on fun, exciting, and entertaining guests on the show for you to enjoy. So let's keep the conversation going. Now let's get back to the show.
But there are plenty of guys out there that, you know, they don't like their nipples touched.
Okay.
They don't want to be bit. I hate getting bit.
Okay.
When a girl bites me hard, anger releases.
Really?
There's nothing sexual about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you want to...
But a little nibble on the ear is fine.
Yeah, a little
Like,
nibble
okay.
on the ear. I had a girl bite my lip, and I was like, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
And she did it again. And I was like, yo, I'm serious. Don't do that. And she did it again, and I kicked her out of my house. I was like, you need to get the hell out of here.
Okay, I didn't think of it like that.
I hate biting. I hate when a girl does like hard, like back scratches.
Mm-hmm. But you don't talk about this before you shoot with them?
I'm talking like a mixture of my personal life.
Okay.
You know, so my personal life, usually in filming, the girl is like, hey, like you take control or do whatever you want to do, you know? So I don't know. Like usually like I'm pretty popular. The girl kind of lets me do whatever I'm okay with. And then we'll talk about boundaries. And like that's all kind of talked about. And I don't ever do anything. If I shoot with someone 1, 2, 3, 4 times, I'm doing pretty vanilla stuff.
Okay.
I have to get really comfortable with someone to do something that's even a little more rough.
Okay.
But I don't want to be slapped.
Okay.
Some girls will try to slap you, choking.
Okay, so
Some
I
girls
guess,
will try to choke me.
yeah.
I don't want to get choked.
Because that's submissive shit.
Yeah,
Right?
there are times where it's happened, and I was like, that was kind of hot. But if you ever tell anybody that this happened, you know, so there's times where it's happened,
Okay.
and I was like,
But we don't have proof of it. It's not on a video.
it's not, you know, I edited it out. But like, you know, it's happened like a couple times where I was like, that kind of turned me on in like a weird sense. Obviously, well, not obviously, but I did like slap them back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, if you're slapping me, I'm definitely going to slap you back.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are things that some guys really don't like. And I'm pretty open. But I know a guy who he told me I hate saying this because I feel like people know who he is. But he was telling me, he's like, dude, I hate sloppy top. Like,
really?
I hate when a girl spits all over me. He's like, it's so gross. I was like,
oh, wait, I think I've heard you maybe say it on your story this. And I was like,
he
who's
thinks
this
it's
friend?
like gross. I was like, wow. He was like, dude, it's gross. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I never heard of guys. But like guys have a lot of things.
But I wouldn't think that would be like a boundary. Like you're not going to tell a girl like, hey, don't spit on my thing so much, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
If it grosses them out, would you?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine you're shooting with a guy and you don't want to get. A lot of girls don't want to get spit down their throat.
Yes.
Because that's how everyone gets sick.
Yeah.
So a lot of girls like, I don't want to get sick.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Same thing with a guy. A guy might not want a girl to spit down.
Okay,
their
you know
throat.
what? I didn't even think about it. I was just like,
You don't
okay,
think
guys,
about us. You
whatever.
just think about yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. You guys were completely like two different creatures in this line of work, but it makes sense. I mean, you know, I'm like a couples account, right? So my boundary is shoot with one person. The hubby, obviously, shout out to him. And yeah, I think you have to be clear on your intentions going into this. And then if you are doing this with somebody, you guys need to be clear on the boundaries that you're going to do, right? Because there are people who are a couple, but they still shoot with other people, and that's totally fine. But, you know, okay, maybe I don't want you shooting with like this specific person or whatnot. So
a lot of times it's like kissing. A lot of times people are like, dude, if you kiss that girl, I will stab you. You know?
Well, you know what? It's funny because back in like high school, there was this one guy who told me, he's like, I rather my girlfriend sleep with somebody than make out with somebody. And I was like, no. But then I still don't agree with it, but I do understand
It's
because
like the
kissing is
intimacy.
more intimate. It's more like, you know, doing it is just doing it.
I can count on my hands how many times I've kissed someone in a video
Really?
on the lips.
Oh, really?
This one, I'll never forget this one night I was shooting with this girl and she was trying to kiss me and she was new. And I was like, and she was so attractive. I was so turned on by her.
Yeah.
But she was trying to kiss me and she was like, in the middle of filming, she was like, you're not going to kiss me? And I was like, I don't kiss girls. And she was like, what? I was like, I really don't kiss that many people.
But you popped up on my home screen yesterday because I have like this thing with always checking my ranking and checking how much money I made. And you popped up. You kissed Lexa.
I did.
You did. That was the one that just popped up.
There was something. So when I filmed with her, I remember, like, I always thought she was I told her this like when I first met her, and like, I haven't repeated it. So I was like, I've been watching you for a long time. You know, I was so nervous when I first met her, and I remember like the guy who was like filming, he was like, okay, so when you get in the car, because we did like a scene in my Rolls Royce. Like, okay, so when she gets in the Rolls Royce, all right, take like your pants down, and then you can like start eating her butt.
Okay.
And I remember looking at him like, all right, bro, you're like, she's hot, but I'm not gonna just eat her butt, you know? And as soon as her pants came off, that's exactly what I did. I just couldn't control it.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, I know, but I remember being like, that was like something I was like in the heat of the moment. Like sometimes in the moment, you know, people will do things that are just nastier than something they would do when they're not in the moment, you know? For
sure. I mean, it does happen. Like, I mean, in videos, maybe in like one or two videos where he's eating my butt, but sometimes like when because he doesn't drink anymore, but when we would drink, then it would get really nasty. You know, it was a lot of, no, not me to him. Obviously not, he would know. But I'm just saying it's more raunchy and nasty, but now we're just like little prudes, right?
Yeah, God knows what goes on.
Yeah. Well, it's all on video.
So talking about boundaries, so I think a lot of people who get into the industry say yes to everything. So very true. So they're just like, yeah, I'll do that, because they're scared of being like, no, I don't do that, or I'm not going to get picked to do that, or whatever. And a lot of girls don't do their research before they show up to the shoot. So like there was, I forget her name, Lana Rhodes. She has like this infamous thing where she went to go do a scene for a company called Facial Abuse.
Okay, wow. Okay, that doesn't sound...
Okay, so facial abuse has been around forever.
Okay.
They do hardcore face stuff, right? They also are prone to trying to get the girl to throw up into a bowl.
Stop.
And they get the girl to drink it. They pour it on their head. Oof. They pee in the bowl. They pour the pee on her. They pee in their mouth. Like, they do discuss... Like, facial abuse is hardcore. She went on a podcast saying that what she did there was totally unconsensual and she didn't agree to do any of this. Basically, they made her like they gagged her until she could throw up. She threw up a little bit and they peed on her.
Oh my God.
This might sound horrible. This is what you're signing up for. There are girls who are into this, you know?
But it also depends, right? Because if you're going and you're doing pro shoots, but when you go to pro shoots, they have a boundary list, right? So
not everyone has, like, that's kind of a newer thing.
Really? Okay.
Like, I'm sure years ago, there wasn't like a super clear, detailed list. It was kind of like, hey, this is the scene and we're going to explain. And then as the scene goes on, we're going to ask you. So they asked her, hey, are you okay with this? And she said, yeah. But it was also in the middle of a scene. She probably felt, and I'm not saying that they're totally innocent either. Yeah. But she agreed to do some water sports, you know? Yeah. And then she drank it. Oof. And she was saying that was like the most humiliating, unconsensual, basically against her will stuff that she's ever done. And she's traumatized from it. Wow. But she didn't do her research. Exactly. She could have said no, but at the time, like, if, you know, as you get older, you get better at saying no and you get better at saying, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. But even like it happens to me with basic stuff. The other day I picked up my car to get the AC fixed and the AC was, and I took a ride with the guy in the car. And the whole ride, I'm like, it's not really that cold. Yeah. And I didn't say anything. Yeah. I took the car home. You know? God. So in my mind, I was like, why didn't I just say, hey, I thought it would be colder? Yeah. But I was just like.
But that's very true because the older
sometimes I don't want to speak up or say something. And then I was like, I'll just drive and see how it is. And then on the way home, I'm like, I should have said something. I should have just left the car.
It always happens to me, especially like in an argument where I'm like, God damn it, I should have said this, or with anything really. But when it comes to boundaries, especially in this line of work, I think people who want to get into it need to be like, look, this is what I can do. This is not like this is something I won't do, and be very firm with their boundaries and not just get caught up in the moment and just say yes because, oh, well, maybe this is going to make me more famous. Maybe this is going to make me more money.
And a lot of times they're just signing up. They're just shooting. When you're new, you're shooting 6-7 days a week. Everyone wants to shoot you. So you're not necessarily looking at what every scene is. You'll just figure it out when you get there. And then before you know it, you have a bunch of scenes where you're thinking like, man, was that consensual? Did I really agree to do that? Was that a little too, was that pushing? I don't really know. And then some girls are comfortable with that. Some girls, they're wishy-washy with their boundaries as part of their kink.
Okay.
So some women, they're like, wow, I never thought I'd be okay with that, but that turned me on. In the heat of the moment, I was fine with that or whatever, you know? And I know a girl who is so into drinking urine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That it was like, she has this video that went viral. She was like at a football game and her friend had to pee. And he just like peed in a whole cup and she drank the whole cup.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't clear. He wasn't hydrated.
Oh.
And she just has a
fetish for that.
A fetish for drinking that, you know?
Interesting.
And I just couldn't believe it. I was like,
that's something. I mean, I don't judge anybody for their fetishes, to each their own, but that's something
and
that...
all I'm saying is that what might be traumatizing to one person is somebody's like fantasy, you know? So it's like, and even with like BDSM stuff and like, you know, girls have a lot of like RAPE fantasies. And, you know, that's like one of the top 5 fantasies of women, you know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. So it's like a lot of women have that fantasy. Now it's very different when it's a fantasy versus real life. You know, I like watching scary movies. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily want to be in a house with a killer, you know what I mean? So a lot of times it's very clear that it's a fantasy. Yeah. That this is only cool because I know it's not real. If it was real, it would not turn me on at all. So, you know, there's also that thing. And I don't know. I think that before you get into the industry, you should write down on a piece of paper what you're okay to do. Because when you write it on paper, whether it's a goal, whether it's whatever, it's very different than you having it in your mind. So you should definitely have your boundaries on paper, things that you're comfortable doing, things that you're going to wait till later to do. You should talk to your agent about it, but it's really your boundaries are only your responsibility. It's not your agent's responsibility.
Yeah, 1,000%. Because
even though it's nice if your agent remembers your boundaries and says, hey, she doesn't do that. That is up to you.
Never get caught up in the moment and just say yes because you want to say yes. This is mostly for people who are doing shoots, right? But then there's like the other girls who are just doing OF content.
OF content's worse.
What do you mean?
Pushing boundaries wise.
But it depends. It depends how you're shooting, right? If you're a girl doing solo shit, then you are your own boundary, right? But if you are actively looking to shoot with people and whatnot, then you reach out through DMs, you guys talk, then you can say, look, you need to have an idea. You also you need to have a plan. You can't just say, okay, come over, we're shooting, right? You know, be vocal about what the scene is going to be like. Like you come here and I'm like, hey, we're going to talk about this today, right? I'm not just putting you on the chair and saying, okay, Teddy, like this is it, right? So I think you got to be prepared. You got to be vocal. Don't hold things back like a lot of times people do. So just be vocal, say what you want. And then, you know, if you see that this person is not respecting that, then it's like, okay, well, peace out.
Yeah, and then it's like in the industry, your reputation is everything. So it's like we just talked about like some people where like if we would have just asked around a little bit, we would have got a lot of information about them. Yeah. But man, your reputation is everything in the industry. And like getting back to like getting into the industry, I always tell people like they should see a sexologist, like or at least a therapist to try to really find out what your motives are, why you're really doing this. Make sure that you're not trying to have any old trauma that comes up. And it's sad because a lot of people in the industry, everyone has some type of trauma. Yeah, but I believe that people that are hypersexual as young adults or you know, even as kids, those people get into the adult world because they've been doing it so long, and that's kind of something that they get good at because they've been doing it for so long. And then there's a lot of things that they don't deal with that gets unresolved, and then boundaries get pushed, and now they have a bad taste of the industry. and then even like on drugs. So like I'm obviously clean, so I don't do anything. There's every industry has a group of people who do drugs in it.
Okay.
The automotive industry, the retail business, if you've ever worked at a restaurant.
Oh,
like if you go to a restaurant, there's three people that are on drugs there.
Yeah. My dad has a restaurant. I've been around those people, and let me tell you, if you're watching this right now, I bet you care about how you look, feel, and smell, especially smell. And that's why I am here to talk to you about Rilla. They make all natural soaps, shampoos, lip balms, and deodorants for men. But I'm not gonna lie, I use them as well. They use organic ingredients that keep you feeling fresh all day long. And trust me, you deserve to treat yourself like a king. So do yourself and your girlfriend a favor by visiting them at kingrilla.com. You won't regret it. Oh, and don't forget to use my promo code Lexis Star to get 15% off your order. I was like 14, 15, and my dad's the owner of the restaurant, and these people are hitting on me and telling me the nastiest things at 14 years old.
That's crazy.
It's
crazy. And I'm the owner's boss. Wow.
And I wouldn't say anything because I was like, oh my God, my dad's not going to believe me.
Wow.
Right? But anyways, I can tell you like off mic the crazy things.
Wow.
So when it comes to restaurants, I know most of them are alcoholics.
Yeah.
Most of them are alcoholics in the restaurant business.
For sure. So it's like, so a lot of people try to like stigmatize the adult industry. It's every industry has some type of boundary pushing drug addicts. Or alcoholics. So in the adult industry, when you're going to like these after parties or whatever, I've heard stories of things happening, and then a lot of people saying, no, she was just drunk or she was just high or whatever. So being totally sober is definitely a great thing when you're doing any type of industry where people are doing things that something unconsensual might happen. And for me, I don't deal with that because I'm so vocal about being not on drugs that people drink around me are like, oh my God, is this okay? Like people are respectful about whatever. And I don't really go out like that. Yeah. But I have heard of things happening like that,
But I think that even like you said, in any business, in any like the adult industry, in any industry, there's always going to be like when a bunch of people get together, there's always going to be something that could happen. So, I mean, staying alert is definitely...
It's a population statistic.
Yeah.
You get 100 people together, 5 of those are going to be on drugs, 5 of those are going to be alcoholics. You get 1,000 people together, It's just how communities are ran. And, you want to talk about like abuse, like, dude, there's crazy things that go on in the police, that goes on in nursing, that goes on in old people homes. Nursing care.
I mean, you open up Instagram and like it's always these reels of like teachers, right? Yeah. Like, no, it's crazy. I know what you mean. It doesn't matter if you're in the adult industry or not. Like crazy shit could happen in any industry that you are in. So it's just be careful, stay alert, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Choosing your platform and content type. So there are many, many platforms. I think that there's actually too many. So when it comes to starting out, I obviously think that you should go on the most popular one, which in this case would be OnlyFans. But then, the thing is that people start in OnlyFans thinking that people are just going to come in. But that's not how it works because you need to promote yourself, right? So that's when Instagram, X, Reddit become important because nobody's just going to come on your OnlyFans because, your little picture, you look pretty. So let me just hop on and see what's going on.
I don't know what happened. I put a story post.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So you got to really promote yourself on the public social media. So again, Instagram and Twitter or X, I would say are the best ones. You're a pro at that because you're posting 50 times a day.
That's just me in a manic state. My friend the other day texted me and was like, yo, bro, like I'm really trying to get more popular on TikTok. One, I was like, I don't even use TikTok. I should, because if I had the views that I have on Instagram, on TikTok, I'd be making $10,000 a month. Yeah. Because TikTok pays you to be a creator. TikTok pays people $800 per million view.
Really? Okay.
So I really should just be focusing on TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing on Instagram, But
I didn't mention TikTok, but TikTok is also a good platform. But the thing when it comes to adult content and like being in the adult world is that it's so easy to get banned.
Oh,
Okay.
for sure.
So I had a TikTok that was going super well. Oh, there's also Snapchat. So we have Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat. Those are 4 ways that you can promote yourself. TikTok, I had reached, because you need to reach like 5K followers before you can start getting monetized, being a creator. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I gotta push, because I like to make my videos, post them, make my content, post it. As social as I am, I don't like, just, okay, well, you know what I mean? So on TikTok, what I was doing is I was doing voiceovers, right? I was doing that. Then I was posting it on my Instagram story and whatnot. And like, once I'm like finally starting to grow, boom, I lost it, And it's like, you don't know why. Did I put my website link? And I wasn't really showing anything. So it's just like, you do all this effort and then it goes to shit. So, you guys have to be prepared for that. If you want to get into this, is that you never know when like your socials are just going to get lost in thin air.
Yeah. And there's also like an art to it. So it's like, there are a lot of people out there who, I just saw this girl's Instagram account. Her bio was Instagram hates me. And I'm just like, no, you just post things that aren't supposed to be on Instagram. So there's like an art to it, because when I first started, I would post insane things that I was like, oh, this is going to go viral. I was just so clueless to guidelines and how serious they were. And I didn't understand that every time you lose your account, you got to pay $2, $3, $4, $5 to get it back. So once I started to pay $5,000, $4,000, $3,000, I was like, I need to learn what I'm doing wrong. Yeah. And then it's just maturity. So it's like, yeah, this is a really sexy picture. Is this worth your account losing? Yeah. Or maybe post it from a burner account and, whatever. If you really want to post it, or don't even post it at all. But sometimes you just have to be like, hey, I would love to post that, but I just don't want to take that chance. And then there's accounts that post insane things.
Right.
And you're like, how do they get away with that? And honestly, it's not my job to try to figure that out, because I'm just going to play it safe. But I use my social media to talk about things that aren't so hyper sexual, And me as a guy, I don't do anything that's like bisexual. So I'm not trying to lure, because as a male creator, it's really hard to get straight male fans, Yeah. So for me, my OnlyFans, it does like okay, but it's not like my bread and butter. My bread and butter is like the tube sites. But I don't know, there's a lot of girls who have figured out Instagram where they are killing it. They don't post anything too risky. They're doing a lot of gym pictures.
Yeah, that really works.
And they're doing like, spandex. So they're showing their butt, but they're like in some type of, fully clothed outfit. And their account might get banned once a year, but it's nothing crazy. TikTok is insane. TikTok, I posted a video where I said a word that was like a little inappropriate, and my whole account got banned from saying that. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
That's so ridiculous. Yeah. But I mean, it is like something that we have to deal with. So that's something to be prepared for. Then you mentioned tube sites. So that's another great way to market yourself and promote yourself, is tube sites. And again, there are many. So if you are just starting, my opinion is stay on the most popular one, because I'm literally everywhere. And then sometimes I'm like, oh man, like it's just too much. It's like post here. And then you're like, but I'm not making that much on this one. Like, do I even bother posting? But then you're just like, yes, like I've done all this, I'm going to do it. So make sure that you are giving free content to people, so that they like what they see. And then they're going to say, you know what? Well, I really like this content creator. I'm going to come onto her paid sites and get stuff that I will not see.
So everyone has their own path, because I know so many girls who are like, oh, well, I don't do well because I have so much free stuff out there. And I just don't think that's necessarily true. I think that if you're popping, nothing can stop.
Yeah.
Like I always say, like Brad Pitt can make 1 million movies. People want to watch that next one.
Exactly.
And if there was a line if there was hey, you could go meet Kim Kardashian tomorrow at 5 o'clock at the mall, there's going to be a line out the door to meet Kim Kardashian at 5 o'clock at the mall. No one's going to be like, oh, I've seen her already. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. 1000%.
So it's like, when you have real fans, and that's the difference between like making content and like connecting. So it's like when you have a real connection with your fans and, you're out there. Like I love Kazumi. Kazumi is so good at connecting and being authentic, and she posts 1 million times a day, and she does all these crazy things, and she has a bunch of free stuff out there, and she has a bunch of paid stuff. And some girls, they just want to do reels, and they want all their stuff behind a paywall. Yeah. And that's fine with them.
It works. It works for some people. It works.
So it's like, you don't want anything free. You want to be exclusive. That's cool. And it's like, that might not even be their strategy. That might be a subconscious boundary. That might be a subconscious boundary where you're telling yourself, oh, I would make more money this way, but you're just not comfortable with people seeing it for free. Yeah. Even though it's like, okay.
But they're going to pay it. Then
$4.
Yeah. For $4, I can see it all.
And then even the way people sell their content on OF. So it's like, I know girls who, they refuse to sell a video for less than $100. And I would try to explain it to them a million ways. And it used to make me mad because I used to be like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Like, subscription sites work on low barrier to entry. Yeah. Netflix is cheap. Yeah. Every subscription thing you've ever thought about is cheap because they're trying to, it's supposed to go to a ton of people. And it make me so mad because I'm like, if you buy something for $100, you're going to think about that you're going to think about that. Was that worth $100? Now I don't want to buy the next thing for $100. Yeah. If it's $5, I'm never going to think about that $5, but I will buy little videos all day long for $5. Like if there was a giant Oreo cookie, I probably would be like, I don't know, but a bunch of little ones, So that's just human psychology. Yeah. Like the casinos make most of their money off people betting $5, $6, $7. There's not that many people that are betting big. So psychology is that people will pick at little things more than they will because they think about it. But what I learned was that's just that woman's boundary. She doesn't, for some reason, she feels a higher value if they selling. If it's $100, if they pay more and it's like what I've learned is that boundaries don't have to be understood. Yeah. If you're totally fine with him liking girls' Instagram pictures, no. I'm just saying. But he knows. Some other girl might be like, that doesn't bother me. Yeah. So it's like my boundaries don't have to make sense to someone else. Like that's my boundary. Some people have nonsense boundaries.
But at the end of the day, they need to promote themselves, whether they're doing it on reels, not showing anything, because there are so many girls where they're literally not showing anything and then they've got millions of followers. And then when you go, like I always get curious and I'm like, okay, this person has how many followers? Then I'm going to click the link to, get directed to their OnlyFans. And then they got like millions of likes on there too. So it's like, they got to be doing something. But yes, I used to be like, no, I'm not letting people in my page for $3, And then at a point, it's funny because you had posted a story about that. And then Coke was like, he goes, I think Teddy was onto something when he posted that, And then we're like, okay, so we tried it and we there has to be a sale all the time to lure them in, right?
So the thing is, you're competing with girls who have 10 million followers and their page is $3.99.
Exactly.
So why am I going to pay $15.99? And then let's say I pay $20 a month for you. I might think, hey, you know what? Let me cancel that because I haven't got on it. If it's $3.99, I'm never canceling. Yeah. That's how subscription businesses work. They work by a low barrier entry that you forget about. Subscription businesses are hoping that you forget about this payment. Any app, it's $3.99. But when I see something that's $79, I'm like, I'm canceling that as soon as if you go to the gym and it's $200 a month, if you don't go for 2 months, you feel like you lost $400. You got scammed $400. But if it's $4.99, you might not go for 3 years. And you're money well spent, because I might have went. I could have gone. But if it's $200 a month, after 2 months of not using it, you feel scammed. So when I buy something for $5, even if the video sucks,
it was just $5.
I don't feel scammed. Yeah. It was $5. If I buy a video for $100 and you're not sleeping with 70 midgets, I want my money back. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I'm buying a video for $100, they're better. You know,
there better
you better
be
be upside
crazy.
down, skydiving,
hanging off the fucking fan.
for me to, and it could be the best video ever. I still might think that wasn't better than 20.
Yeah.
$5 videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's how people think. It's like, well, I bought this other girl's video. So I know a girl, dude, she has millions of followers. I could not believe this girl sells bundles for $8.
But I see that sometimes and I'm like, whoa, like it's not a lot of money. Take 20% goes to OF and I'm just like, how? But I understand
she has 300,000 subscribers.
Exactly.
You know, this girl has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So it's like, this girl is, so it's like, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm not going to be like McDonald's. Bitch, how much money McDonald's makes? You know what I mean? So it's like when you have a subscription business, you might think that you're lowering your value, but you're not because you're an owner. You own this content. You own the business. So it's like, yeah, McDonald's might be selling hamburgers for $3.99, but they have 40 locations. They have 10,000 people that come in a minute. So a lot of times you just have to kind of think that way. Because I know a girl who fired her OnlyFans team because they were selling her content too cheap. And I had to tell her, like, well, I'm all for selling things cheap because people don't leave. So I believe that subscription models is based on people never canceling and never doing chargebacks. Yeah. Who does a $5 chargeback? Nobody.
That is some people not true.
Some people do $5 charge. Very rare. 200 chargeback, 300, 400. Yes. Whatever, you know, people do.
But when it comes to like custom shit, I'm not giving something for $8.
For sure.
Right?
Customs should be tiered. That's where you're going to make your money. The PPVs and the monthly subscription should be almost free because it's like when you go to a casino, it's free to walk in. They're giving out cheap drinks. That's PPVs and your monthly subscription. But you're going to make all your money in that grind, whatever, in the hotel. To me, like, you know, the stay is crazy expensive, you know? So to me, like those custom stuffs, that's where it could really run up and that's where people really get their value.
But that's exactly it. Like when I first started, I was like, okay, well, like I'm a nobody. So, you know, I would give, let's say 5 pictures for like $40. And I was like, oh my God, like, isn't that too much? And now I'm like, yo, you want 5 pictures? That's like minimum $100. Or, you know, or if you want like a 2-minute or a 5-minute custom solo, I started off at $180 and now I'm at like $500 because this is only for you.
So I also say that to say that what I just said is one strategy. Yeah. That I think works for most people. I think some girls have such a hardcore fan base where they could literally sell a picture of them putting their socks on for $1,000.
That's crazy.
You know, like there are some girls out there that they have and they don't have millions of followers. They might have hundreds of thousands of followers, but their fan base is so loyal to them because they're so niche and they're like the anime girls. The anime girls, the super niche girls, those girls that are super niche, their level of loyalty is so different because there's so many beautiful girls out there, but these men connect on this deep level and it's like, wow, you're into this same nerdy thing that I'm into and you're beautiful. And that's where like the connection comes in. I know a girl who she sells picture bundles for $150 and she refuses to sell them cheaper. Yeah. And she doesn't care. She makes tons of money. And we're like, I think you would make more money if you sold them cheaper. She's like, I don't care. And I remember thinking at first, who would buy that? And you go and you look, tons of people are buying it.
Tons of people are buying it. That's ridiculous. There was someone who told me that she sold one picture, a cock in her mouth for $600. One picture when you can literally just look at a video and screenshot it. Yeah. Right? I mean, the most that I've ever sold one picture was $200. Yeah. And that was because I wasn't showing my face. And this guy...
was it a custom?
It was a picture.
But he asked for a specific picture.
No, I just gave him one of me that I've already taken. It was... I wasn't showing my face. Like I said, at first I was starting like this. And I did the mask for a little bit, but it wasn't me. And then I was like, he's like, come on, just show me your face. Like, I know you're pretty. Show me your face. And I'm like, yo, if I show you my face, you're gonna have to pay for that. And cool. I monetize showing my face a lot because like, you guys want to see my face? Well, here, unlock this picture for $200.
Wow.
And that worked. And now they're like, okay, well, we know what you look like. So.
At least you weren't scamming them.
No, I mean, no, I showed them a real picture.
No, but because there's a lot of girls who their whole business is based on like, oh, today I'm really gonna show you something, and they never show
you anything. Yeah.
And I used to think like, wow, what a scamming con artist, bad person.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, people really show up to those wrestling matches.
Yeah.
People show up. Hundreds of thousands of people watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And they know that it's fake and they know that it's scripted.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like, now I'm like, man, that's her strat. So the more I've seen things, because eventually, because I used to think like, that's wrong, you know, and maybe like there's not that much like honor in that, but these people are into the fact that maybe like if you go to the casino, you know your chances are you're gonna lose, but people want that chance of maybe. You know,
it's like when I buy the lottery. Sometimes I'm fucking winning this time.
People buy into that fantasy of maybe today's my lucky day.
Maybe you never know, right?
My lucky day. She's gonna show me something.
She's gonna really show me. She
takes her top off. It's another bikini. Yeah. That's how she does it.
I should do that. I got something to show you.
Yeah.
That's funny. So something else that's really important is finding your niche. And that is something that I don't think you will know right away. It's something that you got to test out. I think I found mine, and it's MILF and stepmommy. So,
wow. How'd you come up with that?
Well, I mean, you know,
Lots of research.
I mean, I don't have that like super young look where I look like an 18-year-old, you know, where I think once I wrote teen and I was like, yeah, that makes absolutely no sense. I'm like 33 years old. I could be someone's stepmommy and I can be a MILF. So that works out. So finding your niche, trial and error, see what people like when it comes to you specifically. Try different titles, try different themes, costumes. You know, I like to mix it up. At first, I was doing a little bit of everything until I figured out that MILF Latina also works for me, even though I'm not. So, I mean,
let's not get the secret out.
Well, I mean, people know. People know. What is your niche?
My niche is I don't have one.
Yeah.
Which I think, like, from a business standpoint, is a mistake. And I just like doing so many different things, and I like to do what the woman is into. Yeah. You know, so to me, if a girl is like into super rough stuff, I could do like super rough stuff. It takes me a while to get to that point with somebody. But then if someone likes role play, I like to do like role play. I like to do car stuff. Yeah. I just built out like a reverse glory hole. So
yes,
like,
I saw that. Yeah.
I used to watch like Check Glory Hole when I was younger, and like it used to get tons of views. I haven't posted it yet, but I did like a couple videos with that.
But what's a reverse glory hole?
So a regular glory hole is like a wall with a hole in it, and then the girl is on the other side of it.
Oh, okay.
And then the male extremity would go through the hole.
Okay.
A reverse glory hole is when the girl's body is sticking out of the wall. Okay. And then her body is on the other side. And then she's basically just free use.
Why did you do the reverse versus the...
Because I always thought reverse glory hole is cool. Okay. Like the girl is just hanging outside the wall. Yeah. Yeah. You know? And then like you're supposed to put like, you put her picture up. Okay. That's so funny. You like plaster her picture there. And you're like... Of her face. Yeah.
So
like a wholesome picture of her. You know?
Like, yeah. Peace.
And then her legs are just tied up.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've had like a St. Andrew's cross in my house when I was younger. Okay. And then a milking table. Like I love milking table.
So like a massage table?
It's a massage table with a hole in it.
Okay, that's something we wanted to do, but like I couldn't bring myself to like make a hole and like waste that money. I know.
You could come and borrow mine.
Okay, we might have to go and test out the reverse
hand sanitizer wipes.
It's okay. I'll probably clean it before just to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like you cleaning it first.
Yeah.
Versus someone telling you
they cleaned it. Yeah. No. I mean, you know, even if I move into a new house, I'm like, oh, we hired somebody to clean it. Like I'm cleaning the toilet bowls, you know?
You know what's the toilet bowls?
Well, the toilet seats at least, you know?
I had a cleaning lady, and I was always like, man, how am I going to get away with this table?
Yeah.
And be like, okay, there's a hole in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I put like this big ass candle on top of it.
Okay, right in the middle.
I think my cleaning lady has seen it all. She's never asked a single question. She's seen so much insane things. And
For
she's
sure.
never once asked anything.
She just doesn't say nothing.
Hasn't said a word.
I had somebody come here. I had pest control come, and the whole setup was there. And then he was like, I was actually telling Lexa this.
Oh, you mean the podcast setup?
The podcast setup. Yeah, but like the name, it's not my real name, right? And it kind of like sounds porny, right? Lexis Star. So he's like, well, oh, you got a podcast? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what's it about? I'm like,
Christianity.
Christianity. I should have said that. Maybe next time. And then he goes, oh, well, like, no, you can tell me what's it about. And it was the second time this guy came to the house for pest control. And I was like, well, it's about the adult industry. And he goes, oh, cool. So like, what about? And I was like, I mean, just like the ins and outs. I interview people who are in the industry and, we talk about things. And he goes, okay, well, I'll give you a follow, And I was like, okay, cool. And then he goes, so like, how did you start this? I'm like, fuck, man, like all these fucking questions. I'm like, well, I mean, and he wasn't home. So, and I was like, fuck, when is he? He was at the gym and I was like, come home, just come home right now, like save me. And then I told him quickly, I'm like, well, like I do adult content.
You told him.
I did. Wow. I mean, the guy could have just Googled the name, right? And figured it out on his own. So I'm like, I do adult content. I mean, he was a young guy too. I'm like, I do adult content. And, yeah, I just figured I would do something that's safe for work. And he's like, that's really cool. That's really cool. He's like, so do you do collabs? And I was like, I see where this is going. I'm like, no, buddy, I don't. It's just me and my husband.
It's crazy how a civilian would know what the collabs even mean.
Right?
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I actually have Miss Lexa coming tomorrow. And he's like, oh, I know her. And I was like, yeah.
That's when you hit him with a deep voice and be like, yeah, my name used to be Richard. But I have a worse one. This one day, I got a knock on my door, and I never really answered my door. I'm like, it was probably just like someone asking to like treat my windows. or something.
Yeah.
And they knocked like hard again, and I opened the door, and it's 4 like 10-year-old kids, maybe 12-year-old kids, with 2 cameras out. They're both recording.
What?
And they go, "Hey man, we like your cars. What do you do for a living?"
Oh man.
And I was like, I'm such a good liar if I need to be. And I was like, dude, I didn't know what to say. They were like, are you a YouTuber? I was like, a deer in headlights. I was just like, I literally didn't say it. I was like, I don't even know what I said. And I closed the door and I was like, what the fuck just happened?
That is so funny.
It was so awkward
and random.
Like, oh my God, what was that?
That is funny.
And I think if they would have asked, I could have like made up something. Normally I just tell people like I'm in the medical field because I like pretty much am.
Yeah.
But because the cameras were rolling, I was like, what?
But it's also like you don't expect
No.
4 10-year-olds to open your door and be like, hey man, love your cars. What do you do?
They were on their BMX and they were like, what's up, bro? And I was like, God.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
I just said stay in school. So.
Stay in school. Don't follow my footsteps. So you had mentioned something to me earlier. If you're watching this right now, I bet you care about how you look, feel, and smell, especially smell. And that's why I am here to talk to you about Rilla. They make all natural soaps, shampoos, lip balms, and deodorants for men. But I'm not gonna lie, I use them as well. They use organic ingredients that keep you feeling fresh all day long. And trust me, you deserve to treat yourself like a king. So do yourself and your girlfriend a favor by visiting them at kingrilla.com. You won't regret it. Oh, and don't forget to use my promo code Lexis Star to get 15% off your order.
Yeah, I have a friend so people hit me up all the time about like, how do I get in the adult industry? And for women, I always tell them like, you really should think about it. You should, obviously see like a therapist. You should write down what your goals are. You should write down like what you're okay with. And like, you should really have a plan and you need to commit to years of this plan. And what are you going to do if you don't make money at 6 months? What are you going to do if it doesn't really, because people don't think about that. They think they're going to start and just like, become Lily Phillips. And, my friend the other day, he's very popular on Instagram. He's popular on TikTok. So I had already told him, like, dude, you're already popular, so you would do well. But I'm concerned that, like, your main goal is, like, you just want to hook up with the girls, you know, which is, like, you're already a good looking dude. You can get girls, you know? So it's like, you already have a business that is also not necessarily the great look for you to be doing this. So you got to think about, do you really want to do this? Because he's done it before, but he never really promoted it.
Okay.
Because he didn't want it to affect his business. So I'm like, you got to shit or get on the pot. You know, you gotta figure out what you want to do, because it seems like you kind of want to do it, but you also don't want to ruin your life. So it's like, you got to really commit, because doing adult content and hiding is like starting a business, but you don't want to tell anyone about it. You know, so it's like, you have to be very public about it to attract people to go to your store, which is basically what an OF page is. It's an online store, you know, that sells videos. You're an online video store. So to get people to go there, you're going to have to be very vocal about that. And I told him, bro, you're popping on TikTok, you know, good looking dude, like, you can do it, but you also have to learn the compliance of it. You need to be getting tested. You need to be shooting with pros and not amateurs. So what I tell people is that you don't want to shoot with amateurs, because one, he's a good looking dude. So I would imagine that women are going to say, yes, I'll shoot with you. I've never done this before, but I'll do it with you. And then they're probably going to catch feelings, and then they're going to feel taken advantage of when you don't date them. So you want to shoot with people that this is their career, not some girl that you met at a bar that's going to let you film her. Yeah. You know, and you know, you want to shoot during the day, not when someone's drunk. You know, you want to have consenting adults that are very clear about this is what they're okay with. Because he has like some videos with girls who like let him film, and I'm like, that doesn't
count, because like you like, need a release form.
You want a release form, you want ID, so I'll tell him whatever.
That's not gonna work.
Other than him, other guys that hit me up are guys with no social media presence. So you're hitting me up from a random page, so you look like a moron, because who's going to respond and take anyone seriously that's messaging from a fake 1 follower account? So you already showed me that you have a low EQ. To be successful in the adult industry, in my opinion, as a male, you need to have a high EQ, because women naturally have high EQs. So if you're not emotionally intelligent, you're going to rub people the wrong way. You're going to cross boundaries. You're going to do something that's deemed disrespectful or something. You're going to get canceled or banned. So you have to have high emotional intelligence to be an adult. And if you meet a lot of guys in the industry, a lot of them are a little femme. And the
just
reason
like
why, just like me, you know. But you know, I grew, and you know, I grew up with an older sister, so I do understand like the feminine side, you know. But a lot of adult actors are a little femme, and they do really well because they understand women. And they're not someone who's just all ego and you know, most of those guys don't perform well. Yeah. You know, a lot of like the most egotistical macho guys, the camera comes on, they can't get it up even with Viagra, you know? Yeah. So a lot of people in the adult industry are performers, right? They're not necessarily like the most machoist guys. And they crush it, you know? They're also artsy. A lot of these, like, you know, my friend Alex Adams, this dude's like extremely artful in what he does and cares about his video. If he doesn't like a video, he doesn't do it. If he doesn't like the chemistry with the girl, he cancels it. He's very particular about the content he puts out. So your social media is your resume. So you want to look professional, and then you want to get some popularity by being like a model. So I put out a video explaining this, and this kid messaged me, and he's like, I did exactly that. So one, he got a social media presence. Two, I always say you should develop some type of niche. Fitness being the easiest one. Yes. So you should become some type of fitness creator that gets views and gets likes already, because you want to look like a male model. You should look like a model. Yeah. This is what talent is. You're modeling. So you're not going to click on a girl's page who's not modeling. So you want to model what the girls do. The girls post beautiful pictures of themselves and Instagram reels of them doing things. As a guy, you need to be doing the same thing. So you need to be, you know, showing, you know, fitness, whatever you do in your daily life, and it needs to be good enough where it's getting traction. If you can't get traction off your safe for work stuff, forget it. You know, you're not. And no girl is going to agree to work with you. You're nobody. And then you want to build that social presence. Then you got to get good with a camera. If you don't know about photography and editing and all these other things, you're not going to be, what do you bring to the table? You know, any guy is going to have sex with a girl.
Yeah.
So you need to be good with a camera. You got to have a good social media presence. Then women are going to ask you to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hitting up all these girls to shoot and you're nobody and you have 10,000 followers, they won't even respond to you.
Yeah.
So people shoot at the people at their level. So when you're an amateur, you got to have some type of following, be getting likes and views, because that's what women look at. Mm-hmm. Women are going to look at your Instagram page, see, hey, does this guy get views? Is he popular if I do a collab with him? Mm-hmm. Because the video takes off when the two performers are both semi-popular or popular. Obviously, more time than not, the girl is more popular than the guy, and most guys don't really care. But then what do you bring to the table? Are you bringing a studio? Do you have great lighting? Do you have an amazing place to shoot? You can't be hitting up girls being like, hey, you want to shoot at my 1-bedroom apartment with like my disgusting bed that I like sleep on every night and I've never done a collab before, don't even understand. So you got to have some type of fun thing. Like, I think like the reason why Miss Alexa reached out to me was because she was like, oh, you do cool stuff. I saw your jet video. I saw that you did a video with a Rolls Royce. You did stuff outside. You do stuff. And so they saw that like I was doing things that were different and had some type of budget. Yeah. So it's like I'm putting money in and investing into my videos. I'm not just saying, hey, I have a tripod in my bedroom. You want to come over? Yeah. You know, because anybody can do that. So you got to stand out from the crowd, just like women. The most popular women stand out from the crowd. So it's like a lot of these men are like, how do I shoot with these girls? Well, how come the girls you want to shoot with are popular, beautiful, and, you know, doing really well on social media? So if you're not popular and good looking and doing good on social media, they're not going to match with you. And if you don't have the basic IQ and EQ to understand that, you need to go flip burgers. You know what I mean? Like, this is not for you.
Yeah. But now that you say it, it does sound like it's a bit more difficult. Well, I mean, I always knew it was a bit more difficult for men to get into it. But now that you like said everything, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's not that easy. It's not as easy as it is for women. But because
women can sell solo content.
Exactly.
And women know how to build a profile.
Yeah.
Because women are skilled at being beautiful and attracting. They're fighting guys off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Men are like dumb in that sense, where they're like, what do you mean? Like, they don't know how to dress, you know, they're not good at those things, you know? So a lot of them, the aesthetic of being an adult actor is just, they're clueless to that, you know?
Interesting. So if anybody wants to, if any man wants to get into this, we would tell them to come see you, but like you need to, you know, have your social media presence. And after that,
what I would say that this is the order.
Yeah.
You need to go to therapy. You need to read this book called The Ethical Slut. Okay. Which is to me is like the Bible of sex work.
Really?
It talks about polyamory.
The
ethical slut.
Okay.
It talks about polyamory. It talks about open relationship. Because there are men who want to do adult content. They've never even been in the lifestyle. So not everyone has to be what we call in the lifestyle to do adult content. But if you're not aware of what some people call like play, like how to play with someone and what their boundaries are, and like that is a whole nother world of adult that people should learn. And then you should create an LLC, see a therapist, read The Ethical Slut, start building a following, have a social media presence, start getting professional pictures taken, not selfies in the bathroom, look like a model, you know, get in shape, post fitness videos. If you're into whatever you're into, you need to be posting and you need to be getting traction with your safe for work content. Then, you know, doing reels with girls and really promoting yourself on social media where people, maybe you're funny, so people want to do funny reels with you. I know a guy who he doesn't do OnlyFans content, but he does tons of funny reels with OnlyFans girls. Okay. And he gets hit up all the time to do content. He's not attractive.
Really?
This guy's not, but he's so funny. And he's worked with so many girls that all these girls, like, he's not a creep. He's not a weirdo. He's a nice guy. And he's thought about doing OnlyFans, but he doesn't. He likes doing comedy, and he's an older guy, but he's so funny, and he gets millions of views.
That's crazy.
And his videos are professional, and he dresses up, and there's plots, and like people want to work with him.
Yeah.
The hottest girls in the world are like, I'll bang you, and you could be a guy who has a 6-pack abs.
Yeah.
Who has all this cool stuff. You can have tons of money, and you're going to be labeled a creep and a weirdo because you're not understanding the culture and the industry. You're just trying to, it's like you walked into a restaurant, just went in the kitchen and said, and grabbed the steak. Like you have to understand that there's a line that you have to wait for a table, you have to pay, you know, like there are things
steps that you
need to go on before a woman who's popular is going to shoot with you. And I'm a big fan of like, dude, if you've never done this before, you need to work with the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You need to be working with girls who you're not attracted to. And some guys like, oh, I would never do that. Well, then this might not be the industry
exactly.
for you. You know?
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere to, you know, like you said.
As a girl, you don't have to do that.
No.
You can pick and choose who you shoot with. As a guy, you should be trying to shoot with the most unattractive girls as possible. You should be doing reels with them because they're also trying to make a name for themselves. So you need to work with women that are on your level. And then after you get a couple good recommendations and you build a following, because your reputation in the industry is more important than your social media. It's more important because you can have 1 million followers, but when people ask about you and they say, oh, you're a creep and a weirdo, no one's going to work with you.
Yeah. And also, speaking of safe for work content, that is definitely like, I don't know if we spoke about this last time, but it's like taking off everywhere. Every platform right now has a safe for work option, right? And that's why, you know, the podcast, Safe for Work, so it brings traction, it brings people that eventually lead to your other sites and whatnot. But like, you can't even be promoted, I think, on these not safe for work sites if you don't post safe for work content, right? So it's like it all started off as like not safe for work, and then now it's like, okay, well, you need to post safe for work shit, and it's like, God damn it, you know, it never ends. But
so there was a time where if you had a business, it would be nice if you had a website.
Yeah.
Then there was a time where if you had a business but you didn't have a website, you're sketchy.
Yeah.
Then it came a time where it's like, okay, if you had a business and a website but you don't have a Google listing, you're not a legit business. Then it was like, okay, you need a business, a Google listing, a website, and you need an Instagram. Every business should have an Instagram. Then it's like, okay, you need an Instagram, you need a podcast, you need a Google listing, you need a website. So it's like the world is evolving where the standard of what you need is so high because that's what the competition is doing. So if everyone else is willing to do X, Y, and Z, you need to do X, Y, and Z. There's a time before where you could be a superstar in the adult world and not have any social media or any presence or any website, and you're going to get watched and viewed and popularity.
We just got to keep rolling with like what's coming up, because I mean, if it were to stop here, then there's only so much that we can do, right? There's only so many collabs that you can do, but like we just got to, you know, follow the wheel, I guess, and do whatever is coming up so that we can keep doing what we do and keep making.
Yeah, my closed-mindedness has cost me a lot because I remember 5-6 years ago, I knew this guy who had an OF agency and he was making so much money. And I remember being like, damn, I should have done that. And I was like, well, everyone has an agency already. That was 6-7 years
That's
ago.
That's crazy.
But at the time, I was like, it was like 2019, right before COVID. And I remember thinking it's already saturated. It's done.
Right? But it isn't.
Yeah,
it
crazy.
isn't.
So it's like, you know, you don't really understand. You see the first couple waves and you think that that's it. And there's like a whole tsunami that's coming. And a lot of my biggest business mistakes was thinking that time has already passed. That's already, I can't get big on here because everyone's already popular. And it's true. It is a lot harder now. You know, back in the day, if you could just hire 100 people from the Philippines for 50 cents a day, you know, you could run anyone's account. No one cared. Girls were like, oh my God, I'm making so much money. They weren't even checking if they were speaking proper English. Now it's like to have a real agency, there's so much competition.
There
like,
is,
Are you going to get me on?
I have so many people reaching out all the time. Hey, Lexis. Hey, Lexis. Hey, Lexis. And I'm just like, oh my God, leave me alone.
And even doing like adult content, it's like this girl put a Twitter post the other day. She's like, making adult content has become like an episode of like Jackass where like every day you got to do something more and more extreme to stay relevant, you know?
Yeah. Yes, but I mean, again, boundaries, right?
Yeah, so it's like people like even myself, I'm not going to do something I don't want to do.
Exactly,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? But it's like there are women, there are people in the industry that they wake up every day thinking, what's the craziest thing that I can do?
Yeah.
And to me, it's like clickbaity.
Yeah.
It's not authentic. It's kind of like gimmicky. But then you see them making millions of dollars, and you're like, damn, maybe I should have streaked at the Super Bowl. You know?
But at a point, it's like, where's the limit, right? How far? Like at a point, there's nothing extreme that you can do to top off what you just did. You know what I mean? Unless they have like really good ideas and they always find something. The
thing about this is like, you know, people keep wondering like, when's Drake gonna make a shitty song? And it's like, you know, he just keeps coming out with bangers. You know,
true,
so it's like he might have some where he's like every year he comes out with 10 classic songs.
Yeah.
So it's like there are some people that is what they enjoy to do. And I used to like really be like, oh well, they're just popular because they do crazy stuff. Maybe that's what they enjoy. So it's like to me, I don't like doing super gimmicky things. I like doing a cool, I just did like a Fast and the Furious like little thing with a bunch of cars. And like to me, that was cool. And I'll do one of those a month or every other month. I'll do like a higher production, cooler little video. And like some of it just for Instagram. Like there's no, it's just safe for work.
Yeah.
And I just felt like doing that day. But it's like, there's no, you know, X video that comes with that, you know?
It was maybe there should be. Maybe it's like, you know what?
If I should have done it because I was just so tired. I was like, I don't really feel like doing it. But I don't know. To me, I was saying this earlier, my friend hit me up and he was like, man, you're such a pro on Instagram. And I don't even think I'm like that popular on Instagram, but he sees like some of my videos do well. And he was asking me, what time of day do you post? How often do you post? And I'm like, bro, I'm on a pre-workout at 7 a.m. and I'm in a blackout. You know, I'm posting the dumbest memes. There are things that I've posted that did so horrible, and I don't even delete it. Like,
but there was your reel that did really good about like the movies that you had suggested.
That crushed it.
But like, how crazy is it that like something that cost you $0 to do does super well versus like I mean I don't know what your car thing did. Sure. You know,
I've done the most. I spent 10 grand on a video with like a jet and a supercar and hired a girl and all this stuff, and it got horrible views and no one really cared. And then like you could be in your car, and that's the thing about. That's why social media is also so cool because we're all on the same platform. Yeah. So it's like you could be, you know, the most successful person in the world and someone can be outperforming you with just a tripod and a light. And it's like, man, sometimes something that's authentic. To me, that meant a lot because I really do care about film. And to me, like my top 10 films are special. Yeah. And the reason why I went viral is because I want a hashtag film or whatever, but because people who are in that film world was like, wow, this is actually a really good list. And I've made other videos about movies since then. They've done horrible. Sometimes it works one time, you know? Sometimes it works one time. And it's like, to be honest with you, like I really do like video or movies. So it was cool to post that. But I get more validation from that than if I post a video with a girl jumping with her boobs out. Yeah. Because to me, it was cool to see a non-sexual reel that was intelligent and funny or like had a niche do well. Yeah. Because going viral with adult sexy content is kind of a cheapy way to go viral, you know? But when you go viral, like if you did a video like on parenting that was funny, that's cool. Yeah. You know? But you also can't mix like, you know, for sure, parenting with like there's so many reels that I see that I want to share on my story and I'm like, nah. Wow, you know, like parenting reels and I'm like, oh, this is so funny to me, right? And then I used to think that. So I'm like obsessed with this girl, Rachel Elizabeth. She did. Oh yes, she was yes, I know her. She was a drug addict. Yeah. And she looks great. And she's so funny. She is. And I was talking to her one day because I made a video about like people were like, oh, you're just so good at reels, and I showed them my camera roll. I'm like, bro, that video, look how many times I had to redo that. Wow. And she was like, she's like, dude, just do it one time, and if you mess up, just go with it. And I was like, that's crazy. But she's like the Michael Jordan of TikTok. She's so funny. She's so funny. Yeah. And like
It's her movements.
It's funny because she's so funny, but then she'll also do a super serious.
Yeah.
And she's also helped me because sometimes I'd be like, well, I can't be the adult actor guy and the recovery guy, you know? But it's like, why not? You know, my one friend, I grew up with Pretty Ricky and the Mavericks. They're like a...
Pretty Ricky, like the band?
Yeah, you know Pretty Ricky?
Oh, of course, baby, grind on me.
Yeah, so I grew up with them.
No way.
Yeah, I grew up with them. Those are my boys. So Spectacularly a good friend of mine.
Get out. Okay.
And I remember I was talking to him about, it's hard for me because I am super serious sometimes. You know, like sometimes there's not a funny bone in me. You know, like I'm just serious. I get sad, whatever. And then sometimes I'm really goofy or whatever. And then I also like to do adult content. And I told him it's really hard for me. And he's like, oh man. And he was looking at me. He's like, well, I guess it's the same thing with me. I was like, what are you talking about? Because he's a super serious entrepreneur. But then he does shows where he's taking his clothes off and grinding on a bedroom, on a mattress, So to him, he's like, well, I guess it's the same thing with me because I got my business shit and then I got my sexy shit. Yeah. And I was like, I never really thought but it's true. So it's like for him, he can perform and he can sing about all types of crazy stuff and he can take his shirt off and the girls scream or whatever. And then the next day he's in a business suit. Yeah.
But it also depends because Pretty Ricky, when they're on stage, they're Pretty Ricky, right? This is what they do. And then when he's a businessman, that's what he does. Just like you're not, when you're performing, you're Teddy, right? I can't even, when I think of you, Brian doesn't even come to my mind. I know you as Teddy. So.
But it's the same with you.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's times where I could be pretty funny. I was looking at something, a reel yesterday, and I got this idea, and I'm like, I should make a reel about this, saying exactly what I'm thinking, and I think it's fucking hilarious. But then I'm like, are people gonna, accept it because I'm supposed to be pretty and sexy?
To me, it's there's a lot of I feel so good when I think something's funny.
Yeah.
And then it comes out, and then it gets validated through society of saying that's funny. Because there are times where I want to post something, I'll put it in my group chat, and all my friends are like, no, that's stupid. Yeah. Or they just ignore me. I'm like, hey guys, is this funny? They're so sick of my shit. I'm like, hey guys, I want to post. Is this funny? They're like,
but you shouldn't ask. You should just post because what they think is not funny might be fucking funny for somebody.
Sometimes I'm like, they're right. They're like, no, that's retarded.
They're like, no.
It's funny because my group chat, most of my friends have kids. They have super serious jobs, and it's 11 in the afternoon, and I'm like, hey, is this meme funny? And they're like, dude, we're at work.
We don't have time to fucking
look
at this
you already
shit.
ran 5 miles, went to the gym, went in the hot tub, hung out, went to jujitsu, and it's 11 o'clock and you're getting to your memes,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But to me, I'm like, well, this is part of my job.
Yeah.
So,
I think I need to let loose a little bit and just be more me, right?
I think personality connects deep. So when people Rachel Elizabeth, if you're listening, I think I'm so attracted to her because she's so funny.
She is, yeah.
And she's beautiful.
She is. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, it's so funny because she's just so comfortable with her whole body and her life or whatever. To me, that's attractive. So people, and there's so many beautiful girls doing reels of dances.
The same thing over and over again.
So it is cool when someone does something funny because you're like, oh, wow. And I think that's what I do. A girl hit me up the other day. And she goes, you seem really genuine. And I was like, well, that's cool. Yeah. And then she started sending me all these nudes and stuff,
You're not genuine.
So I was like, yeah,
That's what I get for being real.
But it's like I always say, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So it's and then it's even if that doesn't do good, I think posting 3 reels a day and only one does well every other day is better than trying to post one that does good every 2 days. Yeah, yeah. So to me, posting 3 shitty reels and getting into the habit, because I'm getting into the habit of making content. So there was a time where when I would put my phone up like this, I felt like the biggest loser. Yeah. I was like, what am I doing?
Well, me too. When I put on the tripod, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? Fucking lift my shorts up so my butt can jiggle. You know what I mean? It's
so to me, every time I make a video is just I'm getting the habit of making content, and I'm killing that fear of like, do I look stupid? Do I sound like you're trying to, diminish that negative self-talk where you're comfortable in front of the camera because, it's just like adult content. Like, with the camera, the first time you might be uncomfortable and then you kind of just get used to it,
But it's funny because I prefer watching myself on my adult content versus watching myself on the podcast.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm not talking as much, or sometimes I think it's funny because I am talking in the video if it's a role play or whatever. But when I hear my voice when he's editing it, I'm just like, oh, shut that thing off. Like I
got
don't
so
like
used
it.
to that. So because I've been speaking at like 12-step meetings for so long that I just got used to hearing myself. But when I first heard my voice, I'm like, that's what I sound like.
Yeah.
I thought I sounded way more thugged out than that, So like to me, I was like, wow, that's what my voice sounds like. In my mind, it's like gangster,
But it's like when you're young, I don't know if you did this, but I think we all did it. We recorded ourselves singing to see if we can actually sing, and then you play that shit back and you're like, fuck.
Oh, you cannot sing. Yeah, you think you can sing when you're singing with the song.
Exactly. I'm like, oh man, I could be a singer.
But then you find out everyone auto-tunes. Now I'm like, damn, I could have been a rapper. Because auto-tune, that's all you need.
Yeah. I always I love rap music. I love it. And I can rap pretty well. Like I can, if I listen to a song, I can repeat it. And I was like, maybe I would be a rapper one day, but I don't know. I don't think it's my style.
Who I love is Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky, no.
What?
I love old Kanye.
Okay, so no, I love him. I love his music too. But I love him because I see like so much similarity. So he was working at like a retail clothing store.
Okay.
And he had made a whole bunch of music videos.
Lil Dicky's the white guy, right?
The rapper, yeah.
Okay, yes. I was thinking of somebody else. Okay.
Who else could be Lil Dicky?
I don't know because I've seen him a few times, but I haven't
He had like
really...
the whole Lil Dicky show, the show.
No.
Yeah, the TV show.
I know who he is though.
So he put out he like made all these music videos. And then he was like, okay, I figured out the YouTube algorithm that if you put out enough videos, some of them will catch. And then he put out a couple of videos and they went viral and he quit his job, but he already had enough in the pipeline, which is a big thing with adult creators where like I talked to a kid and I was like, bro, what's going on with you? And he's like, oh, and I was like, you just posted that you haven't posted on OF for 2 months?
Yeah.
This is your full-time job? And this 2 months? And he's like, yeah, I've been meaning to get to it. And I'm like, dude,
that's no.
You're nobody. You got to be flooding people with you got to be posting as much stuff as you can. Resell your old stuff. Yeah. You got to be sending stuff out every day and doing TikTok. And I was like, bro, and you're young and you're good looking. Like, dude, I would cut my right arm off to be 21 years old right now. You know, like I would be killing it, dude.
Honestly,
I would start over tomorrow with everything.
Right? And sometimes I'm like, fuck, I should have started earlier, right?
So it's like, to me, it's like, a lot of people don't know how much ahead of the game they are. They think that they're going to wait for the right time. And it's like, dude, you got so much potential and they just don't see it. So, I forgot what I was talking. Oh, Lil Dicky. Yeah, so he put out like all these. So what I like about Lil Dicky is that he put out all these videos. They went viral. He quit his job. He started making money with rap. But his dream was always like to do film and production, whatever. And he like stopped rapping or whatever. But he had enough clout, and then he put out this TV show. And the TV show has done so well. And it was actually a really good TV show. It's called Dave, and it's like based on his true life. But like to me, that's like my end goal. My end goal is to do film. Like my end goal is to do film, is to make TV shows or like mini series or something.
You're gonna cast me?
Hell yeah, you could be the MILF.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so there's a lot of fun sides to like being in the adult industry, but at the end of the day, like it is an actual business, and it's not like you just said your friend, he hasn't posted in 2 months. Like you cannot do that if you plan on being in this industry. You got to be consistent. I think that is one of the most important things. Sure. You got to be legit, right? You got to do your taxes. You got to do everything. Sorry, 1 second. I missed my... So just like any other job, you need a strategy. You need to be consistent and just keep going at it, because I mean, when I started this, I think we both quit our jobs when I made like $3K in 1 month.
Wow.
Okay. And we were like, fuck it. He's like, quit your job. Like you're so miserable there.
Wow.
And then
what were you doing?
I was a pharmacy technician. So
wow.
I worked in the pharmacy and I was really good. I was very good at my job. But I was just miserable. That's
what your new niche should be.
Eh?
That's what your new niche should be. You
What?
should be the CVS pharmacy tech.
The CVS pharmacy tech, you think? With like a white lab coat? Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But, and it's funny because a lot of people always ask me that and they're like, really? I would never picture you doing that. I was really, really good at my job. But the thing is that the schedule was shit, right? And I would work like either 9 to 5 or 4 to 10. I would work on weekends and we made $3K in 1 month and he's like, quit your job. And I'm like, this is kind of like, and then the next month we made like $2K and I was like, fuck, I got to go back and get a job. But with that being said, every day I had to post new content. I had to reply to my DMs. So if people aren't ready to do that work and to respond, be up to date with their not safe for work content, with their safe for work content, then like don't bother, right?
Yeah, I mean, your marketing is your funnel to your fans, so it's obviously you got to have, and it's so competitive. There's so many people doing it right now. So it's like you really have to stand out. And honestly, the number one way to stand out is to be consistent, because if you got the best ideas and you're the hottest girl, but you're not consistent, it doesn't matter. And then like a lot of girls run their own account in the beginning and they're ruining their relationships because they're never on their account. They're never chatting. I think one of the worst things ever, I would probably I would be really mad if I bought a custom and never got it.
Yeah. Oh my God. All the time.
Much, but like, imagine a guy's never been on OF. He found you on Instagram. He really liked you. He downloaded or made an account, put his credit card information in, started buying stuff. Then you sold him on this custom. He was like, I don't know. I've never done that before. Then he gets all excited about it and tells you he wants you to wear a certain thing or whatever. He spends $1,000 or $700 or whatever it could be. And then he's waiting weeks.
No,
in the adult industry, like there's so much adult content at the tips of your fingers. I couldn't imagine what type of person buys a custom to get 5 days later or 3 days later. It's like,
well, look, I had somebody who told me they waited a year.
Yeah.
A year.
Or never got it.
And I was like, then he was like, yeah, but like she got someone to film it for her. You can get anyone to film anything for you, right? You have a good friend, they can film it for you. When it comes to customs, I kind of stress when I get a custom because I'm like, I need to get it to you ASAP.
For sure.
Right? I always give 72 hours until from the moment that I get my payment, but like within 30 hours, you're going to have your custom.
I wanted to create a website that is, do you remember Rate My Professor? Did you ever use Rate My Professor?
No, I never used it.
It was like in college, but it was basically where you can look up a professor before you take the college class or whatever. But I would like to make a website.
Rate My
I wouldn't
model?
do it because it probably would. Yeah, it'd be like Rate My Model, where it would be like, this is Miss Lexa. She responds in this time. If you buy a custom, this is how long it takes, or whatever. This is like the feedback. And it would, whatever, because there are some accounts that are so poorly ran and like scams or whatever. And I think it would be interesting to be like, this is what they're willing, this is what they couldn't do on customs, this is what they won't do on customs.
But there is Coke, isn't there?
I think there's someone who does like reviews.
I have some reviews.
Oh,
do you know what platform it's on? Don't you remember though? Yeah. Oh, wow. I feel like I have, somebody gave me a review somewhere.
It would be like the Better Business Bureau, but for OF.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea though, because then that gives people an idea
like,
of
this person has a 48-hour response time to customs. This person has never money back guarantee. Yeah. This person's a scammer.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe you should look into it.
I got too many things going on.
But that's it.
Someone should do it and just give me half.
Yeah. Alrighty. Any mistakes to avoid?
Man, I've made so many. I think I've only done this like one time, but I remember this one time I shot with this girl and I had taken a break from shooting and I didn't have the paperwork.
Oh.
And I was like, trying to get my printer to work. And I just thought I had extra ones and I didn't. And then she was in the industry a long time. And normally I could just like send one on my phone, but she's like, oh, I'll get you the paperwork tomorrow. I was like, okay, cool. So I like gave her like a blank one, or she had told me that she has blank ones that she'll fill out and send to me. And then she ended up being like, hey, I didn't like the way I looked in that video.
No.
Because what bothered me was that her agent told her she doesn't look good without makeup on.
Oh.
And said like it kills her brand. I got so mad. And I got mad that she has an agent who says stuff like that to her. And like, because I remember she was like, I'm just going to do it with no makeup on. I'm like, yeah, you look great. And she was like, okay. And then her agent was like, no, it's bad for your brand. You don't look good.
Oh my God.
And this girl's like gorgeous. So I was like, wow. And I got so annoyed because it's like, man, we did like a 3-hour shoot. We did reels. We did all this stuff.
So everything was scrapped?
Yeah, she didn't want anything put out there.
Oh my God. That's such a waste of time.
And I was just like, and to be honest, the biggest thing that I was mad about was that her agent
said that.
And I was like, dude, it sounds like a pimp, like what? And I was like, whatever. So then that's like a mistake where it's just like, and I'm so good with paperwork, but it was just like this girl had been in the industry a while. I had just started shooting again and whatever. But what else has happened?
I mean, I don't have the same stories as you because I only film with one person. So this is like something that I wouldn't know. But when it comes to like, I wouldn't call it a mistake, my pricing. It's just like you learn type of thing. But I guess it's different when you're like shooting with different people. So I don't think I have, like, I can't think of any mistakes to avoid for myself because I am a couple's account. But always have your papers ready, Teddy.
For sure. Yeah, and I just felt so angry about the situation. I was so mad. I was just like, because I just felt like she was getting taken advantage of, and there's some like fucked up agents out there. But another thing is that it's only happened to me like twice, but there has been times where like I didn't press record. And
my God.
It's usually when I press record and then I press stop and then I put it back on the tripod and then I don't press it again, or I press it twice by accident. But the new iPhone has this weird button in the middle that's like a fake button. And when you put it on the tripod, it will press. And the other day, literally 2 days ago, I was shooting and this happened one time before. So I put it on the tripod and I pressed record and I looked and it was recording.
Yeah.
Like it was red, right? And I went back to do the scene. And when I went to go look at it, that whole thing was gone. And I guessed it had pressed after I walked away. No, I'd rather do a rock and chisel before I ever go to Android. Yeah.
So if you're watching this right now, I bet you care about how you look, feel, and smell, especially smell. And that's why I am here to talk to you about Rilla. They make all natural soaps, shampoos, lip balms, and deodorants for men. But I'm not gonna lie, I use them as well. They use organic ingredients that keep you feeling fresh all day long. And trust me, you deserve to treat yourself like a king. So do yourself and your girlfriend a favor by visiting them at kingrilla.com. You won't regret it. Oh, and don't forget to use my promo code Lexis Star to get 15% off your order. I have that's a mistake that yes I can agree to, although I am not the camera person, so that is somebody else's job, which actually happened like yesterday, didn't it? We were doing like a regular shoot, but we did like behind the scenes VR, and then he didn't press record, or the mic wasn't on, or something like that. But there is, I think, even in my Android, I have this thing where like when I put the camera on the tripod on selfie mode and I say smile, it's going to take the picture for me, right? Or if I put my hand up,
like a hand motion,
it's going to take the picture. But I did realize that sometimes if I take a video, if I like, I don't know, step out, like if I press record and then I step out or I move a certain way, it just stops recording.
Wow.
So that's definitely something to be careful.
You know what else I did is that there was this guy who was very popular on Instagram for pictures. He did amazing pictures. And I didn't know this early on, but I didn't know that most people who do videography or photography, they specialize in one. They specialize in pictures or video.
Yeah.
Very few camera people do both.
Yeah.
And do both well. This guy did mainly pictures. And he had such good reviews on his pictures and everyone works with him. And I was like, hey, do you know anyone who's good with video? And he's like, oh, I could do video. And I was like, I thought you don't do video. And he doesn't really do necessarily adult content. He does sexy pictures, but not necessarily like a boy girl. So I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I just started. And I was like, okay, screw it. He's got to be great. And man, when I hired him to do this video, it was so clear that he had never done this before. And it was just like basic. And I think he was like nervous, but like he has to stop like multiple times because he had to like get a different camera. And then there was times where he was like, oh, hang on. And then he like left to go get something. And it's like,
were you shooting a scene?
Currently shooting the scene.
Oh shit.
So
okay.
I'm like, damn, all right. So thank God, like the girl was like drop dead gorgeous. And I was like, I was like, I could stay up all day, you know? So I was like, all right, whatever, you know? And he was like cutting and leaving. And
that's weird.
You know, and I've shot with not so many, but I've shot with enough videographers where, you know, this isn't like a Brazzers scene. We don't need like 100 pictures or whatever. And they're able to like motion to do this or whatever. And it's very like subtle. And his was very like, you know, a lot of talking and whatever. But at the end of it, for most of the scene, he couldn't find the footage.
No.
And there was no footage. There was only like 4 clips and they were each like less than a minute.
Oh my God.
So I was like, and it took weeks and weeks for him to admit that. Because I kept saying, what's up with the video? He's like, oh, I'm working on it. And then he's like, I'm trying to retrieve it. So I was like, what do you mean retrieve it? And then he basically said that he doesn't know what happened, but it's lost. But it's like, in my opinion, like that just means you didn't press record.
Yeah.
And
man.
Or like the battery died, so it didn't save properly.
Shit.
But I was like, dude, I was so maxed. I'm like, dude, I flew out there. I paid this girl it was like a girl. I paid this one girl to like a high rate to drive 2 hours to come do it. The other girl is super popular. One of like the most popular girls I've ever shot with.
Fudge.
And to me, it's like I hired the videographer. This is my problem, you know.
But you know what? He said like, I just started.
I know.
He said that. So that's yeah. We are talking about.
And
mistakes.
I normally shoot with a shout out to Step Bro Chad. He's so good. And he was in Vegas and he couldn't do it. And I was like, damn. And then a part of me is like, I can accept mistakes. I can accept someone saying, yo, I screwed up. But you got to be super overly apologetic and being like, dude, I'm so sorry. And offering to give me my money back. I probably wouldn't even take it, but he didn't even offer.
He didn't even offer to give you the money.
I mentioned it like, bro, not for nothing, but you should probably give me my money back. And then he's like, he like didn't say yes or no. And then he kind of was like, oh, it's all because we have like this other recording of like because he also did like a VHS tripod video where it's shot in like this old camera.
Okay.
So we have that footage, which is like cool, but it's like a retro style video, but no one's going to really pay for a full scene. That's kind of cool for like a little clip.
Yeah.
So he was kind of making jokes like, oh, it's cool. We have the other video. It'd be like a Kim K video. I was like, no, this is not time for jokes. Like we're talking about like $4,000 was spent in like the Airbnb and travel and everything. So it's like,
next time, get a videographer that's experienced and
yeah,
somebody
you really
that
want people who are
with.
experienced because to me, it's a lot of you think that it's
legit.
Well, you think that it's pretty easy for someone to pick up, but man, if you've never done it before, you're never gonna do it before.
But that's crazy. Okay, so we went through a lot. We went through why get in the adult content industry, boundaries, choosing your platforms, finding your niche, branding, the business aspect of it, mistakes to avoid. Any final tips or encouragement for somebody who is listening that is on the fence and is...
So I always tell people that you need to run your own account, all your accounts, until you're making like $10,000 a month. If you cannot handle that, you are lazy. You're lazy and you don't want to work. Because people who are like, oh, I need someone to manage this. It's too much for me. It's like, you're not even like, if you can't manage 20 messages a day on your OF,
Yeah.
then you're never going to understand how to do it. So you're never going to be able to monitor somebody. So if you don't know how to do the job, you can't check on the job. So like even when I started my first company, in the beginning, I wore 10 different hats and I did everything.
Okay.
So when I would hire someone to take over this job, when it got bigger, they would be like, oh, well, you know, this took me 3 hours. I'm like, no, it didn't, because I used to do it in an hour. So it doesn't take an hour. Oh, Brian, we're having issues with this. Okay, what's going on? Well, this isn't working. Okay, this isn't working because you didn't try hard enough or you're not doing it properly. Let me come and show you how to do it, and it better be done this way.
Yeah.
So when you don't run your own account, you're not sending out, like if you can't send out 2 PPVs a day and respond to your top priority messages and send people content back and forth and chat with them for at least 2 hours a day, you're not serious.
Yeah.
And then some girls like, oh, well, I don't want to do that.
But then don't do it.
Then
don't start. Like, don't get into it.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Outsource it. And when you run into a whole bunch of problems outsourcing it and you don't know what's going on with your account, I know girls who are like, oh, I don't know why I don't make any money. And I was like, well, how often do you check your OF? I was like, well, I don't even log into it. Okay, well, you've never created a foundation. So all these random people are running your account and you don't have a one-on-one relationship with any of your fans. And then people feel scammed and you've hopped around from agency to agency. You focused on your pro scenes that were paying you a lot of money in the beginning because you were new.
Yeah.
So this is what happens to girls in the industry. They do OF, they get hit up by pro scenes. They start doing pro scenes. Oh, wow, I'm making $1,200 a scene, $1,500 a scene. Oh, I have a scene every single day. I'm going to do that. Oh, wait, what about my OF? Oh, that's kind of annoying. Let me just chase this money.
Keep going, yeah.
2 months goes by. Hey, how come I'm not getting booked? Oh, well, we'll hit you up later. Another month goes by. Hey, I don't have any scenes this month. Well, we already shot you, so we're just going to wait till later. And then they're shooting all the other new girls.
Yeah.
And then 4 months goes by and you're like, let me go look at my OF. 200 unread messages. I'm not going to look at that. And then 7 months goes by. Maybe I should hire an agency.
Yeah.
Oh, I hired an agency. Oh, I'm making less money now. You know? And then a year goes by and they're like, okay, well, I'm getting booked once a month or twice a month and I'm not making any money. And then someone's like, you should do Instagram. And you're like, well, I try, but it gets deleted. And then you're like, oh,
it's a vicious circle.
Now you're like, oh, well, my Instagram I'm perma-banned on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's because you didn't take Instagram seriously when you started and you kept getting deleted and you thought it was cute. I know girls who are like, LOL, just got deleted. I was like, that's not funny.
It's not.
Because it's $3,000 to get your account back. So when you get deleted, you need to figure out why you're getting deleted.
Yeah.
Because on Instagram, there's a reason why you're getting deleted. Everyone's going to get deleted for some petty thing. But once you kind of learn what to post and what not to post, it shouldn't be happening too often. And you should be able to get your account back quickly. Yeah. So that is the common mistake that girls make. And now they've been in the industry 2-3 years and they're making $4,000 a month off OF and they're getting booked 4 times a month and they're making $4,000 off that. And then they got to pay their agent and then taxes. You've been doing adult content for 2 years and you're making $60,000 a year. Yeah, yeah. So it's like, you know, and then God forbid you agreed to do stuff you weren't comfortable with. Now you have this burden. So you have to have your OF. Even if you have 10 fans, you better be talking to those 10 fans every single day.
1,000%.
Even if you have 40 fans, you better be talking to them every day, checking in with them. Oh, they don't spend any money. It's okay. You know, just
one day they will.
Yeah,
or,
one day they will, whatever. So it's like, you got to, just like a lot of girls have like this real negativity with their fans. Oh, they're broke. Oh, they're this, they're that. I've gotten on, because I have an agency too, I've gotten on a girl's account and everyone else, because I was just down there messing around, everyone else was talking to like the big spenders who were on the account. I messaged someone and you could look at their history. This guy had only spent like $100 in a year. I started talking to them, whatever, da-da-da. The guy spent $1,000 on a custom.
Crazy.
He had never spent money before, but he's labeled as a brokey.
Yeah.
It's just like when you go to the dealership. No one wants to feel like they profiled you as broke, you know? And I don't care who you are. If you're horny, you find the money. You know, if you're horny, you find the money.
There was my neighbor back in Canada when we went to visit. He said, because I always have this fear, like, okay, what if one day all this goes to shit, right? And then it's like, okay, well, this is how I make my money. But then, you know, all of a sudden it's gone. And he says, Lexis, he goes, in any recession, the only three things that are always going to survive are food, sex, and drugs. And I was like, so just like you said, they're going to find the money, right?
sure.
It's like recession proof.
And it's like, people are like, oh, these people are broke. No one who has an OnlyFans, everyone who has OF as a guy can afford $500, $300. And all these people can.
Yeah.
They're lying. Like, not that they're lying, that you have to get them to want to spend it.
Yeah.
So it's like when you develop real relationships and you're talking to them and you're not just sending generic messages, you can hook people in to feel that there's value here and they're going to splurge or whatever. And the problem is that when people only go for the low hanging fruit, they build a character of themselves where if it's not easy, they don't want to do it. So it's like if you have 500 fans, you're just focusing on the ones that just buy stuff blindly. Not everybody is like that. You got to focus on everyone and treat people equally. And even if a guy only spends $10 a week, that might be more money than someone who's a millionaire who spends $50 a day, you know, but this is all their money, you know, and it's like all that little stuff adds up.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times it's just keeping a tight ship and making your OF your priority, because your OF is how you're going to retire.
Yeah.
You're not retiring off paid shoots.
No.
You know, your fan base, even your fan base, not just OF, your fan base is what is going to bring you money, because now you can sell merch. If there's a new platform, they're going to go there. So when you build that connection with your real root fans, that's where the value is. But people don't want to do that because there's no instant gratification with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, like, as much as we have this persona that we portray, right? You still have to be real at the end of the day. And like, this is a business where you're interacting with people and you got to be true and you got to interact with them and you got to be, you know, you can't just, like you said, have that mentality, oh, this guy is broke. Like, they're there for a reason. They came here for a reason. So give them the reason to spend.
And a lot of these girls that are killing it are hustling way more than all the guys. Like Lily Phillips, this girl has already reached superstardom. Like 50 years from now, she's going to be known as one of the most popular adult actresses ever, you know? Every single day, like I follow her on all of her accounts, she's like, get ready with me on the plane. She's on an airplane doing a vlog of her makeup that she brings on the airplane.
Yeah.
She's getting dressed in the morning, doing a vlog about how she's putting her makeup on at this hotel and then she lost her bags. And like the content is like, there's nothing like special, interesting, but it's her, but she's consistent. And her fans get to see what she looks like without makeup. Her fans get to see her getting on an airplane. Her fans get to see where she's going to next. And she's made it so consistent that people feel like they really know her. So it's like, she could have just been chilling and just been like, she doesn't need to do that. But every single day she put out, I'll never forget, I didn't know her that well prior to this, but I'll never forget, she put out a story saying that she's looking for clippers. And that's when I was like, damn, this girl is a freaking hustler. So clippers are basically like a group of people that clip up your content and then repost it. Okay. So it's like, that signifies that this girl is running a real business. Like, she's not just
fucking around. She's just,
she's hiring clippers.
Wow.
You know, which is like the Andrew Tate method. Andrew Tate really is like the male version of Lily Phillips. You know what I mean? So this is a guy who did crazy extreme things, got really popular, and then had like this online course, which to me, selling online courses is the male version of doing OF. You know, because you're selling a skill set to young men and a mindset or whatever, and then girls are selling their sexuality. Yeah. You know, so, you know, to me, men and women have two different superpowers. A woman's superpower is her sexuality and her prowess, you know? So like, and you might not think of it as a superpower, but the most strongest UFC fighter will fall because of a woman's sexuality. So it's like sexuality can outdo, you know, the strongest man, you know? And men are strong and they're problem solvers.
Yes.
So men
which we are
super
not.
strong and we can problem solve. Whereas like if there's a typhoon coming, we can plan, we can figure it out, whatever. Women, I'm not saying a woman can't do that. Naturally, that is not what they're good at.
1000%.
What they're
totally
good
agree.
at is to be like, babe, you saw how that guy looked at you? You're like, what? Fuck that guy. I don't like that guy. And a guy's like, no, that's my boy. Women can pick up social cues and they know how to maneuver and they know how to be like, you shouldn't have told that guy we had money.
Yeah.
Things like that. Women are really good at those types of things, you know, where a guy is kind of like an idiot, you know, when it comes to those social things. But if that guy tried to fight us, I could fight back.
Exactly.
Where a woman couldn't do that, but a woman could maneuver away from that before it happens or something like that. So for me, like what Andrew Tate did is the same thing. He's selling courses to men, preaching self-defense and you know, being an alpha, whatever. And then part of his university that he had or whatever it was called, he would pay you to copy clips of him and then repost it. So in his own universe, he had people that were self-promoting him, and then he created jobs for them too.
Oh.
If you promote him, Lily Phillips does the same thing.
Clippers, they're clipping up your video, and then other people are reposting it for you,
or they're making accounts like fan pages, like a Lily Phillips fan page. Oh, Lily Phillips vlogging, Lily Phillips flying, Lily Phillips doing this. So they're making all these other pages. So Instagram has kind of shut this down because they don't want a million fan pages out there. But back in the day, you could have 100 TikToks, but that's why you couldn't open up TikTok and not see Andrew Tate because he had all these clippers.
Oh, gotcha.
He had people because he would do a podcast and he had an army of people who would clip it all up. And now let's say I only got 500 views, but 500 views times 17 accounts, 20 accounts, you have all these spam accounts that are repurposing and retargeting different audiences. You can't open up Instagram and not see it. So that's what clippers are. And
gotcha.
Kazumi's really good at this too. Kazumi has been shadow banned and deleted 100 million times, and she's gained tons of traction because she has clippers. She has people who do the podcast. She says outlandish, crazy things.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately saying something, you know, like I used to not like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Because I love like most men who work out have seen Pumping Iron.
Okay.
And in Pumping Iron, he makes a comment where he says, oh, I love working out. I love a pump. A pump is just like coming. I feel like I'm coming and I'm coming. I remember watching this being like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I read Arnold Schwarzenegger's book and he said that he purposely said that to get
people's attention.
And I remember being like, well, that's the one thing I remember that he said, you know? So I started to realize that even Mike Tyson went on a podcast and they were like, man, you know, we saw you hanging out with so-and-so, but you said in an interview that you can't stand this motherfucker and you want to kill him. And he goes, yeah, that's called selling tickets. So a lot of times I have to take a look at, okay, Andrew Tate is saying things to sell tickets.
Exactly.
Lily Phillips is saying things to say tickets. I've also met some people in the industry where I'm like, hey, I saw that thing you did. That was really funny. They're like, no, that really happened.
Okay.
I was like, oh, shit. Yeah. So it's like some people are authentically crazy. And I think Lily Phillips is authentically.
I don't think I follow her. I think I'm gonna
really
follow
good.
her.
Yeah. I mean, so her social media, her personal page is literally like a model page. Like she doesn't post anything cringe or weird. But then she has other pages where she posts like her vlogging and stuff like that. But her main page, you would just think she's by herself on the beach. Modeling like professional photos. She doesn't really do that whole like TikTok trend type of thing.
Is she on TikTok though, or
she might be, but she doesn't post like on her main page. She doesn't post like reels.
Okay,
it's very much like separated. You know,
but isn't it reels that get you new followers?
Yeah, but I think that that was just her strategy. She has done such a crazy thing that she doesn't really need to post daily on her main page. Her main page, I think she just posts like mainly just like cute pictures of herself. And it's funny because her pictures are so regular and like artsy and pretty. And then she's doing this raunchy things. Yeah. And I think that works well with people is that it's like, you know, the allure of a woman is like, man, I wonder what she's really like.
Because if you're giving everything on Instagram or on Reels or whatever, then it's like, that's what I realized also. It's like people do so much on Instagram to get people to like sub, but it's like you're practically giving everything away. So like they won't want to come to your OnlyFans. Like
and that's some people's strategy. Like Kazumi, she's just herself, but she posts all types of stuff. But I think that's just her personality, you know?
Because it's funny. I started a Snap. Okay. I started a Snapchat and I need to post like 20 to like lot, right? 20 posts. And it's like 10 seconds of a video is one post. And then you can put pictures. And then now I need to do 30 posts a day. So that's like 3 minutes of talking or like pictures. And every time, like, let's say I'll go to the beach and I'm going to have lunch there, whatever. Like I take all these cute little pictures and I'm posting. And then when I haven't done anything for Snap that day, I go in my bathroom and I just film myself talk, okay, about what happened in my day.
That's cool.
And I think I got, now I have 6.7K followers on it, just randomly. And then like I went from 3,000 to 6,000 overnight. And then the snaps that are getting the most views are the ones of me just talking.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know, and then that's what he was saying is that people who they see you on Instagram, they like you, then they're like, okay, well, you know, I like her. I want to see her naked, let's say. So then they go on your OnlyFans. Then they're like, okay, but I want to know how she is, you know, in person or like her day to day. So then let me go on Snap or, you know, so it's all this like, it's like not a vicious circle, but it's all, you know, it all aligns and
and it's like so a part of it is also like, okay, I got to see what you look like. Okay, I got to see what you look like naked.
Yeah.
I want to know what you sound like. Oh, I want to know how you think. So now it's like I'm peering into these other parts of you that are also a mystery to people, you know? And even like myself, like I just went to the Suicide Boys concert and I love the Suicide Boys. But after I went to their concert, I was like, I want to go watch them on a podcast. Because now I was like, man, that was like, for some reason, I've never listened to them on a podcast. And now I was like, I want to hear their story now, you know? And it's the same thing. So it's like, you know, one door leads to another. Where you can really see like how in depth someone is. And to me, it's like, you got to do what you like to do.
Yes.
Because, man, you know, you probably don't know who Rick Rubin is, right?
No.
Rick Rubin is like the genius of music.
Okay.
Where he doesn't play an instrument. Like people always make fun of him or like do memes of him because he's gotten paid millions and millions of dollars over the years. And people are like, what instrument do you play? He's like, nothing. He's like, well, do you have a label? He's like, no. People pay him for his opinion on music.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
Just to hear the song or whatever. There are like songs that credit him and all he did was listen to. And there's so many songs that he'll be like, I think you should do this, or I think you should play this, or maybe if you added this. And that's all he does.
That's all he does.
Like a little tiny thing.
That's
and the
crazy.
guy is like the Buddha of the music industry. And he said that when you're creating art, the audience needs to come last. So when I heard that, I was like, wow, I don't ever want to make something and I'm thinking about the audience first.
Exactly, yeah.
I want to make it and think about if I like it and I'm cool with it and I thought it was cool, then so be it, you know?
That's
I think
crazy.
that is like one of the things that I try to think about when I'm making content, because what I said before, my friend was asking for all these like opinions on what I post. I'm like, dude, I'm just posting like in a manic state. I'm not even strategizing what time I'm posting, whatever, because I want to post often. That's the only thing I want to do. I want to post often, and that's it. And that's my strategy.
Yeah.
Because I've never been someone who's gonna like strike gold and get lucky, but I'm somebody who's not gonna stop digging. That's my personality. I've done that with everything, you know? So everyone needs to find their own strategy, but I post stuff that I want to post about. I post car videos. Like I'm obsessed with cars. I post car videos that get 1,000 views.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, this is the sickest shit I've ever posted, you know?
And no
one even cares.
People like my movie list.
You know, people like my movie. And like sometimes my movie list will hit, and sometimes like I'll do something that's not about adult content that does well. But I thought it was cool. And that's really all I really think about. I have fun with social media. And like, yeah, there's a strategy to it, but also don't kill myself
trying to please other
yeah,
people.
And I don't hide my likes.
Yeah. That I see a lot of people doing, and
Dude,
I'm
I
just
think
like,
hiding,
no.
Yeah, I wish I could be like, man, you should do some affirmations, you know, because it's like, because that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, oh, well, if people's, and then there's also like someone who's like, well, I don't want anyone to judge me based on my likes or whatever.
You just got to do it and not give a fuck about what anybody thinks. Because at the end of the day, you're doing this for, like you said, yourself before you do it for the consumer.
You know what was cool? I did this video about backpacks, and it was like what your backpack said about you in high school.
Okay.
You know, like all the different backpacks. It did horrible.
Okay.
It got like, not horrible. It got like 12,000 views,
Okay.
right? And there was a girl who's super popular in the industry, and she was like, you know, when I really started to like you, I was like, what? She goes, your backpack video.
Really?
She was like, yeah. She's like, I thought you were like cool, whatever. But when I saw your backpack video, she was like, that's when I was like, I'm hitting this guy up. And I was like, and she never told me that.
That's funny.
So I was like, well, that's interesting. Because a lot of times people in the industry or other co-performers, they're not looking at your most viewed picture. If anything, they're looking at the little thing that you put, like the thing that didn't get any likes, that's more authentically you.
Then, yeah. So to sum it all up,
don't get into the adult industry. Go to church.
No.
Find God.
You can find, don't say that, because I'm not super religious, but I believe in God a lot.
Oh, I have it on my shirt.
Yeah, I know. Trust God. So don't say that, because now you're making me think that because I'm doing what I'm doing, God's not happy with me, but that's not true.
That's
right? No?
No, of course not.
But just to summarize everything.
Especially you.
What do you mean?
You just do it with your
Exactly.
partner.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So
Me,
that's,
on the other hand.
Yeah. But you're a guy. It's in your nature to you know,
I feel like
poke things.
I feel like God looks at us like children on the playground. Where it's like, even like, you know, if I was a school teacher and someone was like, there's a kid over there licking rocks and throwing them at the wall. He's like,
yeah, whatever.
Right, well,
yeah, that's it.
That's just how that kid is, you know?
That's just how he
because
is.
it's like, you know, the worst thing that you can think of as a kid doing to another kid, we know that they're kids. So we look at them like, okay, he took your toy. Oh, they hit you? You know, like, sorry, bud.
Yeah.
You know, and also if you're a parent, it's like, well, I know you don't understand this, but I love them just as much as I love you. You know, and you might not.
You don't get it.
Or if you're a teacher, it's like of course, I might have my favorites, but I got to act as if
they're all my
favorite. I'm not going to be mean to a kid that you don't like because he's more difficult than you. And it's like, I believe like God forgives things and looks past things that I think is insane and unforgivable.
Yes. So what we're doing.
Like, God forgives Hitler.
Yeah.
If you're a Christian, if Hitler, before he died, said he accepts Jesus in his life as Lord and Savior, he goes to heaven.
Right? So I think we're safe.
So it's like, and I'm not here to say that, what I do in my life is the most purest of things. Because if that was the case, I would sell all my possessions and go work at a children's foster care in Africa, right? If I wanted to be so it's like, and if you don't do that, you're not the most purest form either. Even, sorry to go on a tangent, but I was reading this, one of my favorite poets just died, and I've been like obsessed listening to her. She has this poetry thing where she says, everyone always talks about Gandhi and how much like Gandhi, because I mean, who's holier than Gandhi? Gandhi has been revered as like the greatest spiritual teacher of our time. Gandhi said that if a woman gets raped, she shouldn't fight back. That's like a true statement from him.
Wow.
That if you're getting raped, you just let him rape you.
Jesus, Murphy.
You know?
Okay.
So it's like, you know, even the most spiritual people you could ever think about have unpure parts of them, have done things that are screwed up, that have said things that are screwed up, have views that would never align with anything that you believe in. And even if I do something that you don't agree with, and if it's not perfect, we all do things that aren't perfect. And I draw my line in the sand very clear. Like, I'm not doing unconsensual things. I'm not hurting anybody.
Yes.
I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not drugging people. I'm not doing things with someone who's like intoxicated. I'm not manipulating.
Yes.
to me, what I do is more transparent than a car salesman who finds a lady who's a little older and manipulates them into buying the freaking paint protection.
Yeah.
To me, if you do that, you're
not
scumbag.
Okay. Yeah,
you know?
I totally agree with what you mean. Yeah,
there's more honesty in what I do than the guy at the dealership convincing the old lady that she needs a $500 paint protection.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what. Yeah,
there are tons of industries where people push boundaries and manipulate and do things, and if anything, sometimes the adult world is the most honest it can get because it's like I'm hiring someone for a certain service and we're doing a certain service. And this is one of the few industries where the customer is almost always happy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just like in any business, there are some bad apples, but everybody that I've met that does this is super chill and super nice. I haven't had a bad experience. So, like I feel better doing what I do than being like the CEO of Pfizer and like, you know.
I mean, think about this. You're in the pharmacy industry. The pharmacy industry is one of the most corrupt industries ever.
And also like we knew that this person was like abusing.
God was unhappier back
with me then, right? Yes. Okay, so we're safe, we're good. Yes. I have no problem with that. But like when I was in the pharmacy, I knew people were abusing things, and like because they were still coming on time and they weren't super early on their prescriptions, like we still have it to give it to them, and it's like we're just giving you drugs when you're.
They've all been caught saying that they're developing drugs that are made to be addicting, that they're marketing as not addicting, and they're bonusing people out for how much they're prescribing. And doctors get paid bonuses for over-prescribing, and it is, a dark world, big pharma.
It really is. It really is, and I'm glad I'm not in that anymore. And I'm glad that I'm not.
We're in the business of
making people
lives.
happy, right? Making people happy. So if you guys want to get into doing any adult content, be consistent, upload on platforms, set your boundaries. Don't forget that this is a real business. It's not just for fun. Don't just, start posting shit on your OnlyFans and then not checking it for 2 months. If you can't be consistent with anything that you do, then like don't even start. Don't even start this because you're just gonna, it's gonna go to shit. So that is a wrap on today's show. I want to thank my co-host, Teddy Tarantino, for being here with me. If you guys got anything out of this today, give us a like, subscribe, check us out, and let us know in the comments what you would like for us to speak about next. I am your host, Lexis Star, and this is
Teddy Tarantino.
And we'll catch you next time. Good.